Because we're live now. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. I'm AnchorHaven, and this is the Mystical Wellness Channel. This time in the morning, we get together to support one another. But today, I've got a fantastic returning guest, who is Chloe Ariell, an intuitive guide and healer, a founder of Soul Sessions and Whimsical Wednesdays. Chloe supports clients in reconnecting with their soul purpose and inner truth through a powerful blend of psychic insight, energy healing, and spiritual coaching. Chloe helps individuals release limiting beliefs, gain clarity, and move forward with confidence. Chloe's work is deeply empowering, offering practical guidance for those navigating life transitions, spiritual awakening, and self-discovery. And Chloe is passionate about helping others align with their highest timelines and step fully into their authentic path with clarity, purpose, and trust in their own inner wisdom. And I've recently just had a very simple card reading to talk about what's going on with me, and she's spot on as always. Chloe Ariell, welcome. How are you?
Oh, thank you. Very good. Thank you so much. I know it's really early in the morning there for you, so
Okay,
it's in the
because this is
afternoon here.
yeah,
Yeah,
we do our kind of like getting up together, so it's like midnight Eastern. And
yeah,
so I generally find that this time slot works for me because Rob, a typical skeptic, this is practically
yeah.
the only time that he isn't live, right? So we kind of claimed it for
Yeah.
my channel. We claimed it. And so we do come
Oh,
together 5-6 times a week at this time of the day. So it's great to have you on. And you're back in Australia now. So what's going on with you?
you know, we're having a conversation before how to sort
Yeah.
of like rebuild. My idea is to rebuild my business from being decimated last year in multiple ways, you know. And bring my gifts to the world so I can help other people, be of service again, which I have been, but I'd like it to be more, out there. So I'm getting back online and doing more of these shows and saying, yes, I will, instead of hiding. I'm now, expressing like the flower. I've gone through my cocoon phase and now I'm out, doing some things, smelling lavender.
So you're in Australia, which I do consider to be one of the most targeted places on earth. And I
Yeah.
have versions of me that are in Australia, clones and everything. And we're
Yeah.
streaming to YouTube and it's not working properly, right? Normally
Really?
it would be active, but the screen is still kind of counting down. I'm not sure why.
Oh,
So there's like a 2-minute countdown on the screen, which there shouldn't be. There's 3 people waiting. The live chat is open. Um,
oh,
so we're getting quite a bit of interference already before we even started
yes.
anything. So I'm just going to
I
put
don't
some
even know how they do it.
let's put some
Listen,
protection in place. So yeah, calling
yeah,
in our
yeah,
guides and guardians of the highest light and resonance in true
yes,
benevolence with no conflicting agendas. We ask for
yes,
protection 360
yeah,
degrees for anybody watching live or
yeah,
on the replay, for both of us here.
hmm,
Oh, so
yeah.
calling in
Guides,
Archangel
angels,
Zadkiel.
ancestors. Yeah, look, we are the balm of what is needed for
Yeah,
the future. We are the
yeah.
future bringers, of our new society. But while we're in this sort of disintegrating third dimensional society that we're in, of course we get the counter and we feel it. But it's just
Mm.
we were talking about it earlier. It's just a matter of, you are being aware of what is happening, coming back to center and allowing all of that to flow. And yes, it's happening, but not to get sort of pulled into the fight of it. That's what I feel is a really good, for myself, a reminder while
Yeah.
you're going through it. It's not to get the hooks in, and we're talking like interdimensional entities. A lot of people are hosted by them. The hook with that, with fights with people that make no sense whatsoever, that stuff seems to happen. Plus, not worrying about the organizations, the systemic issues that, and there are a lot of them in our society, right? Not worrying about, we don't fit in. Yeah, we don't fit in, of course. The reason why we don't fit in, because we're here for the new earth. So I suppose it's a balance of that, isn't it? Now, from what we were talking about earlier before we, started talking now, don't you
Mm.
think? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I'm like thinking, do I need to restart the live stream? Or this has never ever
Oh,
happened at all. So we're
yay.
recording on our side and the chat is open, but I can see, oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, there's like a huge
Yeah,
delay. There was a really big
yeah.
delay there.
Yeah,
So
I'll have to download the YouTube file if you send it to me, and then
yeah,
I've got
I
to
will do.
upload it. Yeah. Thank you for
Okay,
that.
so
Yeah.
we're streaming now. Hopefully, my guys will start to fill in into the chat and we can get some checks and see if it's behind or whatever. I was so weird. Oh, hey, it's a Wizard Wickers. So we were having a bit of trouble with the stream, James. So just let me know if you can hear us okay.
Hi, James. I think I did a reading for him the other day on Rob's show.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
there's a lot of similar people that come over. If people can come over to my Whimsical Wednesdays, I'm rebuilding that YouTube that I started again this year in February. So it's got nearly 100 people, but I'm just going to get it from ground up
Yeah.
again. You know, I came from like a couple of thousand followers last year, 2024 before it got disintegrated because they were deleting my videos anyway. I'd
Mm.
like to roll over to like Rumble a bit more as well, have a regular thing on there. But
Yeah.
I have to see.
So
I really do feel,
what's
yeah,
the
I'm meant to
idea
be in the
behind your
camera.
Whimsical Wednesdays? What do you like to do on that?
Well, I was telepathing, like energy updates for what's happening during the week. Sometimes I connect to the cosmic collective, all I did. But now I'm moving on to like I can talk to birds, trees, rocks. So shamanically, I talk to different natural elements, right? So I can talk to like a crystal if I want to, and I'm talking to the like hive mind of that, you know. So that's the idea. But I feel like I'll be moving into like interviewing more people on my show. Like I'm on with Joshua Shapiro tomorrow, and we're gonna.
Oh, I love Joshua. He and I are soul
Yeah.
family. We're
Oh,
Arcturian
that's
soul family.
the
Yes.
Arcturians.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when he
So
talks about Kamanda Rayalta, she's my Arcturian partner, and we both work
yeah,
together to support Joshua. So I had a session with
yeah,
Katrina through the Gateway of Light that he's created.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. So we did that. It was really interesting. When did we? I think it was in 2024 that we did a channeling with a light, one of the Purple Love, and we connected to the Lyrans, and they were talking about their reseeding the human race with the pyramids, the Giza Plateau, and I think that was a bit controversial. Because there was this beautiful,
Mm.
amazing lion lady, and she was half lion, half human. And she was just giving lots of information through Purple Love. And we just don't know what's going to happen. You know, I think that's the unpredictability of telepathy. It's like
Yeah.
the information comes through from a higher dimension, what is needed for this reality to like, if it be like information, knowledge, that sort of thing to help humanity. But, the people at
So,
the top tier sort of thing
mm.
is, and I feel like is anti-humanity. I'm laughing about it, but it's
Yeah,
just like,
we've really got to laugh about things. So everyone's falling into the
yeah,
chat now, and Justina's saying whereabouts in Australia, somewhere around Brisbane area, and then I put
yeah.
Aussie in the chat, and nobody's responding. Right, and normally
I'm not
this time
really
we get
like,
loads on. So
yeah, I'm not
we'll
really a
see.
Aussie like,
We'll
yay
see
for
if
the
anybody
flag.
like cooeys into the chat here. Woo
Yeah.
Rider saying, note to chat, if anyone donates $100 or more to Julia, I will pop on screen and show my man pecs. I'm
What?
like, come on, ladies.
Man pics.
Let's
Oh
get
my
Woo on
goodness.
screen.
How
That's so
funny.
funny. That's so funny. Oh, Belinda Kruger is in New Zealand. Aussie neighbour. So I've lived in New Zealand for a few months. Have you been over to the islands?
Yes. Yeah, I went to the South Island. I've got some family in the North Island.
Mm.
We've got like Kiwi, English, Maori, and we've got Maori genes actually. One of my grandmothers on my father's side is Maori. And yeah, I feel a strong bond to the country, that's for sure. I've got some of my spirit guides that are New Zealanders. I've got two security officers who are Maori.
Oh, cool. I
They
also
do come
have
in when needed. Yeah.
I've got a cousin, like a distance cousin in I think he's in Wellington, and he's also quite high up in the police. So that's great. I
Yeah.
lived in Nelson. I lived in the geographical centre of the islands for quite a few
Yeah.
months. I was out there. I was actually working in a backpackers volunteering for free accommodation. And I
Yeah.
almost got a job. I almost got a mundane job working in like a pharmacy. And they were
Yeah.
looking for somebody to run their photo booth, which was just something that
Oh, yeah.
I was trained to do years ago. So
Yeah.
people bring in their reels, like their little photo, and I
Yeah.
used to be able to work with those big machines. And then they, instead of giving me that job, they wanted me to take on like an assistant manager job instead, to basically overhaul their store, which, yes, I can do that kind of thing. But then I suddenly thought, is this why I'm here in New Zealand? To go backwards
Yeah.
to do a job that I used to do working in retail? I don't think so. So I
Yeah.
started to look for other things, and that's when I found my job in India. And I left New Zealand and went to India, and then my world opened
India.
up. And what I
Wow.
realized now was I just
Yeah.
got reassigned. Everywhere I went was a reassignment. So
Right.
nothing in my control whatsoever. But yeah, New Zealand is great. But just like Australia, you just have English TV. What's with that? Why are you all
I
watching like Emmerdale Farm and Coronation Street and all the stuff that I don't want to watch here?
I don't know. I don't watch normal television, so I haven't done
Yeah.
for many, many years. I had, one time I had a bad cough and had to go to the doctors because I thought I might need to get some, this is a while back, some, I don't know, something,
So,
antihistamine, something, antibiotics. Yeah, so I had to watch
mhm.
television. It was the most horrific
Yeah.
programming
So
I've ever
I
seen in my
I grew
life.
up watching Neighbours and Home and Away. That's literally, I'd come home
Yeah.
from school and 5 o'clock it'd be Neighbours and Home and Away. And so that's how I grew up. Yeah, wishing that I
Yeah.
was in Australia. Right.
I know it's all
Yeah.
this wonderful sort of thing on television, and everyone knows each other, and we're
Yeah.
like every other place pretty much that people
Yeah.
don't know. People don't have the community. It's a breakdown of community, I feel, and has
Yeah.
been such a long term thing. And then people
Yeah.
wonder why there's like extraordinary mental health crisis going on in our society, because people, firstly, aren't getting the help that they need. Like practitioners like myself, alternative holistic practitioners, every step of the way, we're not supported. We're not
Yeah.
supported. We're not on Medicare. We can't get the Medicare. But then they
Mm.
wonder why people like, what are they, cognitive behavioral therapists like CBT are the only people that actually get help in regards to like funding. And it only helps a small percentage of people with, severe, not to say that it hasn't helped people, but, like a small proportion of society has the OCD. And, when you look at the person holistically, like in all these practitioners, and it's not just me as a holistic counselor that's not supported. We're looking at a lot of other modalities that are not supported, So
I feel
there's a
like,
whole,
are
yeah.
you in an area where you can hold groups like workshops in person or not? You too isolated?
No, possibly I've moved to a larger locale, like
Yeah.
a more of a city area. So
I
that's
think you
something.
should look into
Yeah,
that. Getting yourself a
yeah,
little
yeah,
hall once or twice a month and seeing if you could
yeah,
create that like that in-person community. Because I
yeah,
haven't
yeah,
for a couple of months, but I generally do a retreat at the end of every month, which is just an afternoon.
yeah,
And then I have a
yeah.
theme. So ladies basically book on, and all they know is that the theme is Atlantis or Dolphins of Atlantis and stuff like that. And then
Yeah,
they
okay.
come, yeah, they come
Mm,
on and they'll say, "We'll see you next time. What's the theme?" And I'm like,
okay.
"Oh, Laboria or whatever, or whatever, skulls." And they're like, "Great!" So they
Okay.
show up.
I like that
Yeah,
because that's about bringing community together, right?
yeah,
Which is what we need. So
yeah,
a lot of my sessions went from being on Zoom, right,
yeah,
since 2021, and I got a good amount of clientele there. But then when the rug was, proverbially pulled out from underneath me, a lot of my
yeah,
online clients like, where are you? I can't find you anywhere. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I think in you saying that, I think now it's about
It's
people
you have to
helping
do
their
a bit of
communities.
everything. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
very versatile. So when I made the
yeah,
shift from having a physical brick and mortar wellness studio and crystal shop to moving online, people didn't want
yeah,
to. They really did not want to move online with
yeah.
me.
No.
And then I travel around the UK doing mind body spirit fairs, like 20, 25 a year I was doing, traveling all around the UK, not
Wow,
making
it's a
any
lot.
money. Hopefully I'll get one good client from each one or something. It's just a waste of my
Yeah,
time and money. So I'm not doing that anymore. But
yeah,
I
yeah,
did manage to slowly
yeah,
establish my online groups. The
yeah,
Patreon thing, that does seem to work right now and things, but there's never quite enough. It's like the abundancy targeting is real. I hate to say
Yeah.
that, but it is. So it's like, so I
Yeah.
try everything, and you've got to have all these different plates, spinning at the
Yeah.
same time.
Spinning
So
in this in the air,
yeah,
like, yeah.
so
Because I did some conferences,
mm,
so healing retreats
yeah,
and psychic markets, and I did a recent consciousness expo up, I think a couple of months ago, up in the Sunshine Coast. And I just found it like you need a contained space for the powerful work,
mm,
right? So what happened is I did this amazing healing with this lady. I was actually supporting the sound healers there, right? But they didn't really know much about what I did. I tried to be normal. Dee, dee, dee.
yeah,
I'm
that
just
doesn't
here to
work.
support you, no problem. They're like, would you like to just do a thing, ding a
Yeah,
ding on a
yeah,
lady? And of course, it started, and then it was just like, whoom, this like powerful energy came in, the crows turned up,
yeah,
the wind was happening, and the lady was like, whoa, that was next level. And then, whoom, like 5 people turned over and looked at me, and I was like, uh-oh, because it wasn't them looking,
yeah,
it was the entities coming through them
right.
looking at me, and then everything
Handlers,
just
yeah,
went chaos after that. It was just like
yeah,
one guy was just like red in the face yelling at me, and he didn't know why, but he felt justified to yell at me, and I'm like, okay, this is totally unacceptable, I said, and then I was just like battling with all these different energies. So I think
okay.
having a
Hmm.
contained space basically is super important. And I
Can
will
I
not do
pull?
those
Can I
healing
pull some
retreats and things
cards?
like, yeah, go for
Okay,
it.
as you're talking,
This
go
is
on.
great. I felt like
Yeah,
we were going to help each other
yeah, yeah.
publicly
So I
through this talking.
so as an empowered individual who is targeted for our entire lives, I discovered
Yeah.
that I can kind of sense the boundaries, and as long as I do things in like a not a ritual, in a routine, then I'm generally okay, and I can get away with certain things. So they think, oh, she's just doing a stupid woman's retreat again or something like that, and my handlers allow me to do that. And then, but if I do
Mm.
something where, the biggest one was I was going to go out of my town to lead one of these groups, but it was going to be in Chester, which is like 30 minutes on the train away. I'm hiring a building, like a hall that's above a crystal shop, and that's
Oh, yeah.
really haunted as well. And so
Oh,
I was
God.
absolutely fine. So I planned it a couple of, like at least 4 weeks
Yeah.
in advance, at least. And then I finished the job I had at the time. I was working half day mornings, and then I got on the train, absolutely fine. Literally, I'd like walked more than a mile to get on the train. I get to
Yeah.
Chester and I step off the train and I got hit with targeting through the lights on the platform to the point of my leg buckled, and for no
Oh, wow.
reason. And Miles was talking to me about this. He said, yeah, they use the LED lights and they program them to like rapidly hit you with like an energy weapon right through the lighting system. So I got hit.
Wow.
I even just trying to leave the train station, I'm like dragging myself. So I had to walk through the town, which is like, a good 15-minute walk to get to where I was going to collect the key for the next day. So they given me a warning shot. Like, why are you leaving
Yeah,
your local
right.
area? You're okay to stay within 3 mile
Oh,
radius, but outside of that, we're giving you a warning right now. So that's what happened. And then when I had did,
wow.
so the event I led was successful. It was fine. I was okay the next day, but I was very aware then, because on the day before the event, I got hit with a blast of energy. I had to drag myself through the town, drag myself home, and then I passed out for 5 hours with my cat next to me trying to transmute the energy. So they give me
Yeah.
these warning blasts every now and then if I leave my local
Yeah.
area. And I'm fine if I'm like, I usually plan my events in December for the full year ahead, and that's fine. It's like they can line
Yeah.
everything up. But if I do anything within 6 to 4 weeks, I'm going to get punished. I'm going to
Yeah.
get portals
I know.
opened and energy
Yeah.
dropped on me and stuff like that. So, but if I do things on a routine, so I know that every month this is going to be occurring, but the theme changes, generally okay. So let me
Okay.
just see what's Chloe doing well. What's she being supported with?
Sorry.
Okay, and guidance as we move forward. Okay, is there a targeting pattern?
Oh, wow. This is great. I like getting a reading from someone else.
Sorry.
Yay, it's not just
So
me.
what you're doing well is integration, connecting all to all the different worlds. Yeah. So sorry,
That's
I've
what
got my
I've got in
background
front of
on.
me.
Oh my
Same
God, I've got the
cards.
same fucking deck.
Isn't that funny? I was looking at them and I was like, why have I got this deck out? So yeah, the
You and
shamanic
I are
healing
so
oracle.
literally the
Yeah,
shamanic healing oracle. You've worked
that's
with
so
the
funny.
same deck. That's so freaking awesome. So we're probably going to
Yeah.
interpret the cards very differently. But yes, we've got number 33, integration, which has got like diamonds in the dark. So the shadow healing
Okay.
that you support people through, shedding their skin
Yeah.
and growing, and
Yeah.
making, new spiritual connections and growth. So this is what you do well. This is who you are. This is why people need to book in with you, because it's a
Yeah.
multi-layered level of healing that has so much
Yeah.
deep insight. So you really are the shaman. You really are that shamanic practitioner that can move between all different realms.
Yeah.
What your guides are supporting you with is number 22, transformation, and number 37, emotional release. So as you help others, you are
Yeah.
releasing and transforming yourself every single time. It's like you're rebuilding yourself, you're regrowing,
Yeah.
recocooning, and
Rebuild. Yeah.
rebuilding every single time. The guidance as you
Perfect.
move forward is abundance. It's number 13. The abundance card is
Okay.
coming forward for you. So just the fact that
Great.
we're talking this through, we're already changing the timelines. Yeah, we're doing
Okay.
this together right now. When I asked about if you have a targeting pattern, it's true. What they're targeting is your joy.
Yeah.
They're targeting everything that you find fun, easy, joyful. That's how they target you. Oh, you think you can have a fun day, do you? You think you can meet your friends and have a nice time? No, right?
So funny.
Who
It's
do you think
because,
you are for wanting connections with people and having fun?
oh my
That's how they
God.
target you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the foundation of your targeting pattern is your joy. Yeah, to
Every time
keep
I
you
want to do
questioning.
something,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm looking forward to like going to a concert,
yeah,
going seeing some music, and then it's just like chaos erupts. It's
yeah,
like, okay, well, I won't go and do anything fun.
yeah. They're trying to ring. I'm seeing ring. They're wringing the joy out of your life. That's what they're doing.
Uh,
So
yeah, well,
let's see. How do we move away of that? How do we balance the targeting aftercare program?
oh, it's just nice.
So
I like
we
this.
can't fully eliminate the aftercare program because it's the foundation of your life in this realm. So how can we bring more balance? Okay, it's your psychic development. So your psychic skills, connecting to your
Yeah,
guides, and putting things in place if you're going to be doing that event. So just like they're lining up handlers, they're lining up a plan, a program. You do the same thing. So you do a multi-layered approach to protect yourself,
yeah,
to bring in multi layers of defense. Multi layers is very important for you. I'm not sure why, and then you use your discernment. So only doing the things that you're
yeah,
really passionate about. So if it doesn't fill you with joy, it's not worth the hassle. Yeah. So then you start to
yeah.
fine tune your life to the things that really make sense. That you're really like, if I'm going to come out of my shell, yeah, you fine tune your life, but anger has come out.
Mm.
Anger, that's interesting. So when we think of yeah, it's basically showing them, if you're going to mess with me, be prepared, handlers. Yeah, so
Yeah,
right. So it's like we love our handlers, we heal the handlers, we connect in with the handlers and say, which drives them nuts as well. And you say, I love you, I know you're there watching over me, and I really appreciate it. Yeah, so I'm a clone template. There's factions
yeah,
that want me to die, basically, but there's factions that
yeah,
want to keep me
same.
alive because they've got millions of
Yeah,
clones running through my system. So if anything happens to
bizarre.
me,
Yeah,
millions of clones will collapse, and that entire structure of the global monarch program is going to collapse if anything happens to me. So, and
yeah,
I'm not trying to big things up, but this is what I've been realizing lately. If there's 24 million clones of me at any one time, and we reduce that number down, but it keeps coming back up by thousands of clones every month. So this faction is trying to keep me alive, and I know that,
yeah,
right? So it's like,
yeah,
so I just send out healing to the handlers. I know they're clones, I know they're drones, I know they're also targeted individuals whose
yeah.
lives have been made a living hell. So you start connecting with your handlers and sending them healing and sending them love, and then they get
Okay.
angry, but then it gives you an opportunity to
Like when it
counteract
when it
them. Yeah,
when it comes to the card there, what seems to be a continuous pattern is they'll get through my really good friends. They start making my friends, I don't know, start fighting with me over the most obscure like things, like some political party, something that I said about something 10 years, I don't know, it's just bizarre. And then there's all this animosity between good friends. It's like, this is ridiculous. We never would have thought, but they don't understand it. That's the problem. So that's the
So
multi-layered effect, right?
yeah, it's number
You know what I
10. It's
mean?
the burden card. So they're just trying to overload you. They're just going to try and take everything around you and turn it shit. So you'll start to think, oh my God, this weight is too much. This is too heavy. They're testing your
Yeah.
boundaries. Yeah. So they say, okay, you're a magical,
Yeah.
empowered person. Well, let's see what kind of weight you can lift. So we're going to pile that on from time to time. So they're just boundary testing you. This is something that's come in for me a lot recently. They're boundary testing.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. So let's see, what's the guidance on that?
The light, there's this light in front of me that won't go away. So just
Yeah, what is that?
I
That's
know
fine.
I have light
Yeah.
phenomena go on, so I'm just going to leave it. Some reason
Okay.
it's there. So,
Okay. Oh, it's
um,
self-love. Self-love is the most important thing.
self-love.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
self-love. So you're allowed to focus on your shamanic work. You're allowed to work with water elements and air elements, sun energy. You're allowed to put
yeah,
everything into that framework of self-love, and then it should
yeah,
start to balance out. So retreats and things that you're doing, it's a self-love focus. Yeah,
yeah.
as a foundation.
Wellness, creating community for other people. Like I want to create community. It's just about
Yeah.
getting that space.
No, I would love to spend an entire day with you and just watch you do what you do. Right? You wouldn't even
Yeah,
really need to put that much of an offering out and just say, come and spend the day with Chloe Ariell. Let's work on
yeah,
the
right.
principles. Let's have fun,
I am passionate about helping women increase their intuition, men and women, but I think women need it a lot more.
Yeah,
Just understanding that they've got it there and following through is extremely powerful. I think
yeah,
women coming together in circle is extremely powerful as well.
yeah,
Because that's where the matriarchal connections, is the circles, women in a circle, and then it's like it heals families upon, you know what I mean? So
mm,
I feel like that's could
yeah.
be a passion.
It's
Yeah,
important to bring out the priestessing aspects now. Like sacred
yeah,
witnessing is a big part of the work I do. And sometimes
yeah,
just sitting there and eyes
yeah,
open, being seen. Nobody
yeah.
has that in their life anymore. Nobody actually looks into your eyes and creates that
No,
gateway for you to just
yeah,
unfold and lay down. And so I do a lot of sacred
yes,
witnessing work. So I generally go to Glastonbury
listening,
once a
yeah,
year, and Elaine Kalila from Priestess Presence comes over from America. And she's British, but she's got this online priestess temple. And I only go to her day in Glastonbury, which is part of the Goddess Conference. And so I've been doing that
yeah,
for a couple of years. And the last one I went to, honestly, instead of like 18 people, the first year I went, there's 14 people. Next year was about
yeah.
20 people. Last year there was 45 priestesses call in. 45
Wow,
priestesses, and the energy was so powerful that there was women collapsing on the floor within the first 10 minutes of us opening that
really?
circle, and there was
Wow,
like wombs were literally like bang, it was like insane. So we were all standing supporting somebody that collapsed on the floor in tears, and I just felt this surge. There's loads of energy coming in now. This surge of light language coming out, very
yeah,
tribal kind of light language started to come out.
yeah,
And I realized that I was probably one of the most experienced priestesses in the room, which for me was like weirded me out when I looked around. And I literally took a
yeah,
step back, and there was like 8 of us holding that space with like 40 other women, as the main lady Elaine Kalila was kind of going round and helping us build our energy and band the energy
yeah,
together. It was such a
yeah,
powerful experience. But a big
yeah,
part of the work we were doing was about moving in with that sword of truth, so that chalice and the sword of
yeah.
truth, and women realizing how powerful they are in that temple space. So temples used to be the heart of our community, and everything would
That's
be run
right.
through the temple. You
That's
would
right.
go
I
and see
remember.
those
Yeah.
priestesses for everything, every initiation, even
Yeah.
sexual initiation would be done
The
by the
doctor,
priestesses. Yeah,
the local doctor
yeah,
would be there, you know,
yeah.
um, delegating like herbalism, energy
Mhm.
healing, whatever is needed. And it was just like, I'm going to the temple. I need to go to the temple. So,
Yeah,
like you're right, everything came through that temple.
yeah,
I do remember, and I do remember the desecration of the temples, which is not written in history, but I've seen it in other women's past lives. I tend to help a lot of healers. So under the sort of banner of the healer of healers. So I help a lot of healers, and I've seen that. as one of the first waves of the patriarchy coming in, and they desecrated temples, and they cut down the women like then and there. They
Yeah.
used foreign soldiers to do it, and you won't find this in any history books. It
Yeah.
happened
And they
about
took the
2,000
anointing.
years ago. Yeah.
Anointing has come through the temples, yeah, and they took the anointing from the females and they gave it to the men in the church. And that's not their sacred ceremony, that's our sacred ceremony. So I do work as
Mhm.
anointing priestess. That is some of the work that I do. I don't do full body anointing because for that I'd want to work with other priestesses. But when you
Yeah.
if you do things with me in person,
It's
we
like an
do a lot of
activation.
working with
Yeah.
oils. Yeah, so I create my own oil blends and activate them, and we do anointing, and we do that a couple of times a year.
Yeah,
I'll
right.
open up like a mini priestess temple here in person, and I love working with oils. I absolutely love it. So it's definitely
Amazing.
working as a miracle is something that I've definitely done in other lifetimes. And you think of Mary Magdalene, everything, she was a miracle, so she worked with essential oils and the powerful
Yeah.
gateway that's opened when you work with the oils. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny
Yeah.
because like people don't put much emphasis on it. Like holistic oils, and it's amazing. The flower, I find flower essences extremely powerful too, but they're just, the emphasis on the flower essences and oil essences and things like that are like value is like very, very low we really need to flip that pedestal and put nature back up on a high pedestal, because that's the main issue I feel in our society, is the emphasis on technology and like quick fixes, and here's a pill for this, but like what's in it, and you know what I mean, like the
Yeah, because
petrochemical
they're
kind of
trying to
thing.
forget that the real
Yeah,
technology is crystals and herbs, and they're trying to forget that.
yeah,
That is our
yeah,
crystalline technology. So,
yes,
yeah. Oh, Eric's saying one of his
yes,
teachers is a miracle. Yeah, so a scent, an oil priestess. Yeah, very powerful.
mm,
Mara's talking about White Lotus. Yeah, so like everybody's got like a little bit their hand into it, and it's time to bring that fun back into it. And it is fun when you
yeah,
start working with herbology and oils. It's very much fun. I love doing that kind of thing. But one thing I
yeah,
can't do is keep the information in my mind. It gets wiped out. Anything to do with
same,
herbs and spells for herbs,
yeah,
it gets wiped out.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it
Well,
really
you're not
does.
meant to keep it because it's channeled for that person. So,
Mm,
I have, if I was to keep hundreds of notes on people, like that's why I
yeah.
record in my sessions.
Mm,
Record because I'm not going to remember it. And I
yeah.
feel like that shows a high level, channeler or telepath, or you using high level, because you're just a conduit in that moment, and like a waterfall rushing through with that light. We're not here on our left brain keeping notes. There'll be a few things that pop out. They'll be like, oh, wow, I remember that. But like all the little details, forget
Mm,
it. But flower essences are highly underrated. They're extremely powerful. Like I had a client who had this intergenerational trauma, and his wife met me through a psychic show that I was doing years ago, and yeah, so he had this issue in his arm with like build up of fluid. He'd gone to the doctors. He'd gone the traditional route, we should say. So, but they still couldn't find anything, relief for that build up of fluid. Like his arm was getting really big. So I worked with him. I said, usually I'm the last port of call, because they're not thinking of like, the little fringe dweller, the alternative therapists, until they've run out of basically options, right? And then they'll find someone like me or you. And so then it was a flower essence, and it was healing the intergenerational trauma on the masculine line from you're talking, he was adopted. So this is biological DNA, like he'd never even met his grandfather from his biological father side of the family, right? So we went up there, we talked to the spirit, the great great granddad, and relieve the healing there, so it didn't have to come down the line. It basically came to him as a cycle breaker, right? So then it was an essence, a flower essence, like I think it was daisy or something, but like don't quote me on that, because everyone is different. There's flower essences in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere and Western Australia. There's all different types of flower essences, right? But when you're working with spirit, that's how I got the answers was through the Akashic, through the spirit world, right? To go, hey, this and this. And they're like, what? You just heal that. It's like, well, there's a bit of work to do with it, pal, but as a conduit, it's like I can point you in the right direction for entertainment purposes only. You know what I mean? It's like the spirit world knows exactly what to do. And what do flower essences have? They have a vibrational essence. They have a vibration. We can go quantum energy healing, right? All herbs and all crystals and all essences, they have a vibration that the body needs to heal and cure. You know what I mean? Entertainment purposes only. There's no cures here. There's an issue when you've got to say all these things, right? And this is why it's not so easy. People don't know this information because it's been slowly like taken out of our society by generation after generation. So I think if that guy hadn't have found me, he would have had an amputation. That's a fact. That's what he was headed for, an amputation. And it was intergenerational trauma with a flower essence as a cure. Unbelievable, but believe it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, that was
That.
years ago, but I've got it's testimonial after testimonial with that.
Yeah.
And, of course, we've talked about this. It's not easy to be an alternative therapist or a holistic therapist. In this reality, we're not supported by the system, but I do feel there's a shift now. And I don't know if many people are feeling that, but I feel just in this last month, like they're kind of going, well, maybe we should jump ship. Like, what's the point of like trying to tear everyone down, like on the pirate ship that they're on with all the machetes, like tearing everyone. This is a visual I'm getting.
Honestly, it feels like
rats
that's
on the ship. They're trying to cut blade everyone. All right. But like as they jump, as the ship is going down, because the ship is going down, right? And I'm talking systemic, like the system itself, is going down. They're trying to jump ship. I feel like they're like, well, maybe we should join the light side, and that's where the future's going. So let's jump ship. So, don't you feel?
Yeah,
I'm being optimistic.
I try and focus on keep moving forward, but it's hard at times. It can be. And then I try and focus on, because I do access consciousness work, on the ease and the joy. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. And it's so glorious that I want to shout from the rooftops, like, come and work with me. It's freaking amazing. But because I don't record hardly anything. I don't ask for reviews and stuff. So it's like, so I know people, because what I don't like is people who are taking photos when you've set up a sacred space and people having real shifts of energy, and you've got another practitioner in their group taking photos of people like that. Like, there used to be somebody locally, so they'd have somebody on the therapy bed having an amazing facial or something, and they'd be taking a photo while the person's vulnerable, and I just don't agree with it. So because I didn't do that, because I didn't take photos at my wellness studio, then there's no evidence other than what people word of mouth or whatever. So it's hard.
Word of mouth is very powerful. That's where a lot of my sessions come from, is that people have this session with this. I don't even say that I'm a shamanic practitioner, because that again is like politicized.
And why limit yourself
win
as well?
everywhere you go. It's like I can't call myself that because I've had to have trained in the Amazon forest, usually under a man, maybe my father or my grandfather. By the way, Spirit says that area is highly patriarchal as well. There's a few shamanic practitioners in the Amazon that are female that are coming forward now, but it's like you can't get away from it. So our system itself is just the planet Earth,
So I'm just going to, for a second, I'm just going to honor you for a second. Valerie has said, thank you, Chloe, for my outstanding soul-aligned, powerful healing session. My soul purpose and guidance was also discussed, and the synchronicities and opportunities that have come my way in such a short space of time since the session have been deeply appreciated and are totally on point. I feel a wonderful sense of peace, connection, and inner joy. Huge respect and gratitude to you and your team. And Belinda says, I'm very happy to have found Chloe. Her soul sessions are amazing. I've had 2 sessions so far, and both times I was amazed by her unique talent and genuine ability. I completely trust Chloe and feel very safe during the sessions, and I definitely felt a shift for the better in myself afterwards. Yeah, so let's celebrate you for a moment.
Thank you.
Yeah, there
That's
are beautiful
beautiful.
reviews
That's in
here, and
person.
this is on Google, so you can find these reviews on Google and
Oh,
via your
you've
link
seen it.
tree. And I'm literally, I googled you. I do
Oh,
surveillance,
thank you.
so I'm like, you know,
You do
and
surveillance.
I do. I'm
Well,
literally,
yeah, I
I'm
love
trained. Yeah,
the testimonials. They have to get
yeah,
it's rebuild, like you said. So it's like about getting the website again,
yeah.
and so
Seriously,
yeah,
think about the Patreon, because I couldn't afford to
yeah,
renew my AnchorHaven.co.uk. The domain is paid for, but I couldn't afford to renew
right,
the website hosting. So I just forwarded it
yeah,
to my Patreon now, and I use that as my main website. And you can chat privately with people or do group chats.
okay,
You can have a shop on there. You can do posts. You
okay.
can
So it's
sell
a bit
it.
better.
It's
Okay,
better. It's better than Substack, I think, because I was using Substack for the last year.
yeah,
Although there's you can put paywalls into Substack, so it did serve its purpose. I took my mailing list, so like 200 odd people on my mailing list, uploaded that directly into Substack, and then I could put
okay,
posts with a paywall. And the paywall was just basically so that I could put my Zoom links and send that out to people.
yeah,
Because when you
yeah.
put Zoom links out and about, oh my god, you get terrible trolls,
Oh,
right? So
yeah,
bad,
yeah, yeah.
crashing the Zoom. So I started that with Substack, and that, you know what, I'm loving Patreon right now. I am, and I've got
Okay,
groups on Facebook. I've got my own Facebook group, but the numbers are low. I've had the
yeah,
same number of followers on Facebook, like 1,300 on Facebook for the last 4 years, 1,600 on Instagram for the last 4 years. It goes nowhere. People on
yeah.
Instagram, I used to get 80 people viewing my story every day. Now I'm lucky if I get 4. So
Yeah,
Instagram totally shadow banned.
yeah, I
Yeah.
do. I do feel like, yeah, the shadow banning and the algorithm. As soon like I'd love to be a fly on the wall and see how it works. Alternative anything, blacklisted, psychic, blacklisted. Like you can't get like small business. Get on the small business thing here if you got anything holistic or psychic on there. And I did a course, transpersonal art therapy and counseling and postgraduate diploma in art therapy. Like I've gone the traditional route. Oh no, you've gone silent.
Sorry, I got excited.
It's okay.
I was saying you should
Yeah,
build in art therapy into like an in-person retreat, because I always
yeah,
include some kind of craft activity, and people love it.
yeah,
It can be
yeah,
really
yeah,
weird. Like we were painting oyster shells one time, but that cost me tons of money to get the oyster shells in. And ridiculous. So yeah, so we do a lot of labyrinth work. I love doing labyrinth work.
yeah,
But people love, so if during the day I'll plan a couple of meditations or activation. We work with cards and crystals, but I always plan some kind of craft activity where people can sit round and have a natter,
yes,
right? And then so art
yes.
therapy sounds awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've done it for years. I worked for an organization under the drug and alcohol for many years. And then we could say I did great work with a lot of people and I helped a lot of people, but then I got bullied out. I got bullied by other
We get bullied.
therapists,
Yeah.
3 other therapists,
I
because
get
they didn't
bullied
like the
by other
fact that
podcasters. I get podcast
right.
bullying me. Yeah.
Well, no, not with me. Oh my God.
No.
So we could go on about it, but it's just like we're talking about what we've experienced and it's
Yeah.
valuable. So if we talk it out
Mm.
and then it's like, well, how do we work? How do we
Yeah.
flexibly bring in the new earth? And it is from grounds up, I feel. Like us talking it out is so important here because
Yeah.
I know other practitioners would be going through the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So it's about building that community in the area that you're at. I feel that's the shift and the change that has happened, right? Instead of going
Yeah.
online, which is what
Mm.
we needed in 2021 and 2020, right? And that I've got a worldwide audience. But the thing is, what am I doing in my own backyard? What am
Yeah.
I doing around the place that I'm at now?
Yeah.
But it has been hard because I've had the thing where I've had to move because of, we could say all the stuff that happened,
Mm.
constantly moving. And then I had, the list of things but the relationship stuff with a psychopath. It's not fun.
No. But again, because because I'm bringing out the Breakaway Oracle deck, and there's targeting cards in there. Look at targeting from
Yeah.
3 directions. So the first is the physical handlers around you. Yeah, so who
Yeah.
are they putting in your life to physically target you, to keep you limited and controlled? That's one element of the aftercare program. The second one is who's observing you from afar, right? So the observers are important. So it was that phrase, master of observers, that activated me last year and activated my heads up display, my left eye implant, and all this kind of stuff. Memory flood came in. So who is observing you? So we're in these programs where there's literally somebody in China pressing a button, da 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 da. Oh, she's doing this today. Oh, I'm going to activate that satellite near her. Bam! You get blasted with a voice to skull or something. And then we look at the physical aspect of it as well. So it's like what's coming at you physically. So the 5G towers near you and how they've been programmed to put something different around your area. I'm not sure why that's coming in. You've literally got like a targeting field around you. Where are you?
I can actually sometimes in Brisbane City. The thing
Yeah.
is, when I'm in a city, I can hear this kind of. It's hard to explain, but maybe other people have had the experience too. It's like I can hear the sound of Wi-Fi, and I don't know if many
Yeah.
people can. But it's like it's just so high pitched, but it has like
Yeah.
this sound.
I
But
feel like
sometimes I
there's
can
a
feel that they
bubble.
lace together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's like a bubble that's like around you, like an actual special field around you, right? That's
Mm.
how it feels like in my head. So I don't know where that's come from. But it's like because you're in the aftercare program as an asset. So you've got your own special thing going on there. So there's all the random stuff for everybody else, but there's you. So they can see you on the screen. It's like weird. So yeah. So the only thing you
Yeah.
can do is use the earth technology to bring in more crystalline
Yeah.
frequencies, start to
That's
push
right.
things away, to sort out your own
That's what I
protective
do.
fields. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. That's definitely what I do.
Mara's saying they hear the earth hum as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm, interesting. Yeah. So because I was saying to a friend of mine recently, I really feel like I cheat when it comes to being targeted because I've analyzed
Mm.
it. So, we do
Yeah.
have hyper focus, analytical skills, and that's one of the reasons why they use us as assets because we can process a lot of information in a very short space of time and we can make
Mm.
like instant decisions based on that data and stuff. So when I realized last year, if this is some kind of project or program, I can analyze it. Yeah, I'm
Mm.
going to run the data on it and I'm going to see if I'm supposed to be some super scientist who's got like some mega IQ, well, I'm going to try and
Yeah.
tap into that and I'm going to use it
Yeah.
against
Yeah.
them. Why wouldn't I? I'm an asset.
Do you want me to do a reading on you
Yes,
with the same
please. Yes,
cards?
please.
So I had this feeling.
Yeah. And then guys, we'll
Um,
take some questions and we'll ask see if Chloe can tune into some of your questions. Yeah.
there's
Uh,
a cat at the door, of course, because the energy's been created. So
oh,
it's my
maybe
friend's cat. Ow.
okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it's coming in to protect you.
I'll bring in Papa. Papa T. Papa Tom Tom.
Oh, so I like that. Belinda's saying hearing the wind frequencies in both ears all the time. Oh no, that's Whistlebreaker. Sorry, it's gone up fast. Hearing the wind blow through the tall pine trees in my backyard is very therapeutic. And then Whistlebreaker is saying I hear frequencies in both ears all the time since about age 7. Yeah.
I've got the card slow but steady.
Okay. Ooh, taking a breath.
Slow
Slow
but
but steady.
steady. It has been a bit difficult because I can see this like black hole of like financial stuff, right? And it's sort
Yeah.
of like emptying the pockets and there's no coins in there. That's what I'm seeing. It came from this card here.
Yeah, it's
See,
true.
upside down.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's happening there? I need some finances, you say. So let me have a look.
Yeah.
Stripping illusions. Now, what is that? She has what she needs. She has enough. She would like more, and I see you eating soup. Like soup is what people eat when they, can't afford lamb, things like that.
I've got some cans of tomato soup in reserve. And I walk past them every day thinking, not today.
Hey Tom Tom, do you want to be on the video?
I think
Well,
he's
he
got a
said it.
message for us.
Okay, tell us what's going on. Ask the trees. And I know because I do that. Thank
Yeah.
you. Because we talked about um psionics, right? I'm sorry, not psionics, but yes, that's what we are talking about.
Yeah,
Psychotronic warfare, right? So
yeah,
we're talking about the 5G towers and stuff like that. But of
yeah,
course, Tom Tom's just said, ask the trees. He said, what message? And it's true. That's
yeah.
exactly true. So that's the solution, right? Is to ask the trees to shield and place a barrier around us. And it's not just the trees, it's the earth energies itself. You also said that. I have had that experience, but we'll go back to your reading. I've put it on pause. One
Mm,
second. I have asked that when I've telepathed with some ships that weren't quite kosher, we could say. I didn't realize. I saw the ship and then I started telepathing, and then I realized, I've got
mm,
not such a good ship here. Like I'm talking the greys that work with our people, our gov, we could say.
yeah.
And so I got told shield by my guides. So I brought up the earth energy around me and I said, I'm not here. I've disappeared. So I asked the trees, I asked the rocks, and I asked the earth to shield me. And we're talking energetic. And so then the craft sort of went along, but it did stop and it was observing me. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
So
So it's
yesterday I said
yeah,
something, and you know when you say a different word and there's no accident. So instead of psychotronic warfare, I said psychotropic warfare when I was live for
yeah,
Slavka last night. And psychotropics is like mood changes and stuff like that. So I think maybe that's targeting what I'm
yeah.
getting is
Yes, I get it too. It's like,
yeah.
and it's a Amiga. We don't want to say the word because you'll get like thingoed. The word such as suicide, sounds like that,
Okay,
right?
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Omega programming in regard to that. It's just
Yeah.
like target everything in your life so you feel helpless and hopeless. But it's
Yeah.
like stripping the illusions is what I'm getting. It's like you actually getting everything that you need. It's a more of a I want more, right? This is the
Yeah.
thing.
So
Yeah.
there's a psychic Liz Cross that said I'm a just enough kind of person.
Yeah.
I'm quite
Yeah.
happy being just enough. I've just got enough
Yeah.
to pay the bills. I've just got enough to buy the food. But yeah,
Yeah.
it comes at random times, and I feel like I'm like, oh, I
Yeah.
can't pay this because I need to pay that. It's that kind of energy that I have. Yeah.
Yeah. So teaching is your key, right? You've got to do more teaching. You talked about
Okay.
this already, right?
Yeah.
Run, and we just talked about it now, and myself included, right? Get the groups and do more of that. There's more. I can feel just a little bit out of your area. I know that you said going 3 miles
Oh, it's
out.
tricky. Yeah.
Oh, that's what I'm getting from that. You're a very good teacher, is what I'm hearing, and you're very patient, and you can actually sense into similar to me, right? I can sense into what their gifts are, the strengths, right? And that's the sign of a
Yeah.
teacher, right? You can sense in and go, oh, this person could really do well with working with crystals and rocks. They've got that, or trees, and you're a sensor like that.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
very good teacher. So doing more of that. And okay, I'm gonna say spirit, like she already talked about the, 3 miles out thing. How does she get past that? And I can see a train line
Mm.
honoring your energy. Yeah. It says upside down honoring your energy, but so it is about, you know,
Mm.
preparing, as in like
Okay.
preparing for the psychic attacks, right? It's going to
Yeah.
come. So let's
Yeah.
let's put some energy around us that is going to be protective and
Yeah.
helpful. Sorry, but my phone keeps on falling down. So before we started, the other
Okay.
iPad got drained.
Yeah, she came in and you said something, and it was literally like a whatever, and then she gone, and I was like, "What's going on?"
Oh,
That's funny.
it also it's about being flexible. Like some people will get so upset about the iPad, right? Like, oh, here we go. Now I've got to contend with this going
Yeah,
against. So crystals here. Maybe I needed a crystal here. Going
yeah,
with the flow, protection, energetic protection is what I'm hearing. But a regular space, right? So you're going to the regular space, so you're able to grid it. You're able to put crystal grids, and this can be just energetic as well, by the way. So you don't have to
yeah,
leave crystal. I'll crystal grid a place, but I feel like metaphysical crystals in the corner. And not just that, I can hear the elementals actually working with you in those places and spaces. And
Okay.
some people might think, oh, this place is like a city area, but there is still the fae that are there. There are still
Yes.
pixies. There are still brownies that are
I get told
can
off.
work with you. Yeah,
I got because I used to have this wellness
yeah,
studio, but I'm not the best with aesthetics, so I didn't have any plants or
yeah,
anything, anything like that. And it was on a crossroads on a ley line in a town, and
yeah,
so I went to see. I was at an event, and there's this guy called Kevin Powell, and I call him the fairy shaman, the fairy man,
yeah,
and he has a fairy that sits on his shoulder, but it's actually like
yeah.
a fairy king that came forward, and I'm saying, well, where are my fey
Ah,
guides? Why am I not getting fey guides? And the Fairy King said, what kind of a friend of the Fae are you? Like, what have you
ah.
done for us lately? Right?
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
thought, you know
Okay.
what? My
Thank
wellness
you.
studio has got nothing alive in it at all. Right? It's not even got
Oh,
a cactus.
oh
So,
my
and so I
goodness.
used to get a gnome that would come and check on me every now and then.
Yeah,
And somebody saw this
yeah,
gnome just like peeking around the doorway. He had this little woolly
yeah,
hat on. He's like, looking, what's she up
yeah,
to? Yeah. So, so
yeah.
I
That's
am very
literally what they look
elemental.
like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
very
They have.
elemental.
Have you
And
seen them with the they wear the funny little trousers with the little things that come over here, like with the red buttons, and like some of them look like they've got brownie skin. That's why they call them brownies. They're about this high.
yeah.
And like I had a thing with a brownie. Every time I moved into a house, I would have to connect to the brownie. You'd hear a knocking. You know what I
Well,
mean?
I think
You'd be
the
like,
brownies
what?
would go mad if they came in my place because I'm a bit of a hoarder. And the only thing I know about
Yeah,
brownies I got from the TV show Lost Girl. Have you watched Lost Girl?
I don't
Oh,
think
it's
so.
so
No.
good. Oh my God. So she doesn't realize she's a succubus and she comes into a
Oh
town and
God.
somebody dies, but
Yeah,
she sucks their life force out of them. But she realized that there's a whole underworld of fae and there's a good
yeah,
faction and a bad faction and they're at war. She kind of steps
yeah,
into this. So it's a great TV show, Lost Girl. I think it was filmed, all the good stuff is filmed in Canada or whatever. So, but in
yeah,
that, there's like they somehow get entangled with a brownie who's this man that comes to their house. He's like a gay man, but he wants to clean, he wants to cook, he wants to be taken care of. And they're thinking, this is freaking amazing. But then the brownie
yeah,
says, make sure you get this particular, like, you know, biscuit or bar or something for him to eat or whatever. And they don't. Oh, if they forget to get his thing. And then he starts making everything bad because they've not respected the one wish that he had was to be taken
yeah,
care of with this particular food or whatever. Whereas he's done
yeah.
everything for them. So he starts to make their life a living hell. And that's all I know
Oh
about
my
brownies.
gosh.
Respect is
I
very, very important for the Fae.
I've got so many stories in regards to the Fae. Like it's a real the Fae world is a real thing, especially when you're able to see into that world as a medium. You have to respect it. My God. I'm building a garden out here for that purpose at my friend's house, you know. I'm building a garden. So I work in conjunction with the fairies and they're telling me, not today. I'm waiting right now when I've got a plant. They're going to tell me, right? And I'm not going just by the moon, I'm going by them. So they're telling me 2 more days and I have to listen, right? And I get advice from them, right? We used to live much more in relationship with the natural world, which we're not doing now. But I can feel that for you is about there is a space. I feel an older lady, she's got silver hair, like in her 60s or 70s, and she wears purple, and she actually wants to open up a space. It's kind of underneath her house or like next to her house. I'm not sure if you know this person, but she wears purple and she's thinking about it, but I feel like it will happen. So it will be look out for a private space, I'm feeling, which is interesting. Like,
Okay.
are you next to the train line? It's like two
Yes.
more. Okay, so there's two spots away from your train line. That's what I'm hearing because I got the train line. I
Okay.
can hear, I can hear the
Yeah.
train.
I'm in between two stations, and two stops away.
Right.
I kind of know where those areas are. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's something that will come up, but it will be a very good collaboration, I feel, because she also knows people and she does meditations and things like that. Okay, so this is a very helpful female that'll come,
Okay.
right? And I'm not sure what that is. It says American, it's got an American eagle. It's funny that I'd say American.
Well,
Um,
I have a story, but you
yeah.
finish because something's happened recently.
Yeah, and I'm wondering about an opportunity, right? So we've got truth, but it was upside down. So it's like,
Yeah.
interesting. All right, tell me about it.
So recently I had a gemstone reading with Gina Virginia Casella because I'm speaking at her conference. So she gives you a gemstone reading. And she does like a gemstone medicine wheel. And where my
Yeah.
eagle condor is meant to be in the East, all about expression, my eagle condor died. My spirit guide
Oh,
died. Yeah. So I basically said, I want to release it. I want to let it go. So a new eagle condor can come forward. So that's the new
oh.
one. It's on its way in. Yeah.
It's interesting because I felt like it was more metaphysical because I was like, I can't really get like a feeling. I feel like a
Yeah.
possible opportunity coming in regards to the
Yeah.
US. Yeah,
So
okay.
it's my eagle condor. He's on his
How
way. Well,
cool
it's a
is
new one
that?
actually. It's a feminine one that's on its way. So the male one is because she kept going on and on about how spiritually masculine I am, and I am, and I'm kind of a neutral person. So, but spiritually, I'm
Yeah.
very dominant to do this work. And then, but there's a feminine eagle condor that's on its way to me now as a new
Mm.
spirit guide. Yeah.
So in the shadow, there's a needing for forgiveness, whatever that looks like. I
Yeah.
feel like as I say that is going to be the first thing that comes up in your heart, and you're actually sensing it as I speak about it. It's your personal thing, right? But it's to do with some people from the past, and
Okay.
you're feeling it as I say it. So that's we don't need to go into it 'cause it's your personal stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that's just come up as more opportunities will come when you let go of that weight of the past. And you'd be like, oh my God, I've done so many healings and da 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 with it. But it's like
Mm.
it will be triggered. The next time you're triggered, go, oh wow, I'm triggered. What is this? Have a look. Let's say,
Because
oh,
when if I say something and somebody gets offended, I literally go, "Oh, why did you choose to get offended?" Then they get even more angry with me.
yeah.
So that
It's
happened at
interesting.
bases as
Oh, God.
well. I was like, "Oh,
It's
you
happened to
get
recently with a
offended."
friend of mine. I'm like, I don't even know how the hell this started, this argument about some random thing I said. It's like, gosh, but it's difficult. Yeah.
Mm.
So I want to do three more down the bottom. Letting go, like what we talked about, right? There's some sort of weight there in the heart that needs to be let go of, right? And it will bring more trust in the
Mm.
future. And I do feel it is to do in the past to do with men. We could say the masculine, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let
That's the
it go,
feeling that I'm,
let it go.
yeah, let it
Yeah.
go, let it go. It's
So
like,
yeah, so
it's
I was
not so
saying
easy.
yesterday on Slavka's
Yeah,
podcast that this is like yesterday was the 1 year
right,
anniversary of me having my foot surgery. But right
right.
before I was due to have the foot surgery, so like, 2 days ago, a year ago, my ex-partner basically sent me a message saying, don't do it. It's going to fail. You're going to regret it and all this right before I
Oh,
was about to have major foot surgery. So yeah, some
right.
things need to end. And if only I
Yeah, there's
had,
something there. I feel like even if you did a shamanic journeying and you were like, okay, spirit, I've had a few sort of arrows pointing at this on a conscious level, I don't really understand it, but maybe you do, let's show me what needs to heal here and started drumming and like listen and just go into whatever comes up from the subconscious because I feel like there is a bit of an abundance block with that, right? We've
yeah,
been
okay.
talking about now our businesses, right, which is having a thriving business, the masculine and the feminine needs to be balanced, right?
Yeah.
I'm very good at the feminine, so are you. It's like, da, 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 it will come, it will flow, but like,
I'm
having a
not good at the
template.
feminine. I'm not. I'm very masculine, I
No.
think. Yeah, I
Oh,
honestly, because I'm so blunt and I don't have a filter, and so I generally don't do like on my channel now. I'm kind of
yeah.
and something keeps triggering me as well. So I was on the radio
Oh,
yesterday recording things with Miles Johnson, and he always wants me to talk about Montauk. And I don't want to talk about Project
yeah,
Phoenix. I've never wanted to talk about Project Phoenix. I've only just started to
yeah,
get that memories coming in, and there's literally like
yeah,
ritual abuse and stuff like that I'm
yeah,
remembering. I don't want to go
yeah,
there. right? But I'm getting pushed forward to talk about SRA and stuff like that. And I really feel like
Yeah.
if I'm going to talk about it, I want to talk about it with Alondra Markman, because he's such a beautiful person that is very balanced, but he's also quite feminine, and he can talk about these
Yeah.
things. So whereas I'm really dominant masculine at times, I know that if I was to connect
Mm.
to somebody like Alondra, that he would be able to talk about that in a really supportive, safe way. So, but I feel like I'm getting pushed to talk about these things, which a year ago I couldn't talk about. I literally said to a friend yesterday, how am
Mm.
I in this position where it's me being the person to talk about these things? It doesn't make any sense to me. I just don't want to talk about SRA. I don't want to talk about abuse like
Well,
that.
it's not the right time, and that's connecting into the feminine, right? We've got all
Yeah,
these cycles. It's 28-day cycle,
yeah,
maybe not. But even if we have stopped the flow of
yeah,
that, we've still got that in our body. Like we work in a cyclical way, you know what I mean? And that's when you say no, it's just go with that, because that's you're honoring the
yeah.
feminine. Right? And I feel like
So,
once you get that going, abundance comes, right?
okay,
That letting go of whatever that is. You may not, it might be just something like you feel like is really sort of super basic, and it's about a key that unlocks something, right? Once you release this stone, it's like a key gets unlocked. It's like an activation, right? That
mm,
brings in more abundance. And I get the feminine, because we're talking feminine energy right here. So these
okay.
two
I think
cards
that the
here.
feminine energy that generally represents my retreat work, I think, where I bring the ladies together and then I
Yeah.
heal because they're all expressing and they're supporting all of us. So I love
Yeah.
working in Sacred Circle. I generally try not to work with more than
Yeah.
8 people at one time. But I just have to sit back and listen to them do their medicine, and it's amazing. And I don't
Yeah.
have that perspective that they have. And I'm like, the stuff that's coming out of me these days is just so awful. But it needs healing, and I get that. That's why I'm having to talk about these terrible things. But
And also, you
yeah,
talking about that, it also gives a space for other people to be able to trust and
yeah,
open up
yeah,
about it too, because it is very heavy topic. But
mm,
unfortunately, in our world, a lot of people are not unscathed from that. Especially people with
yeah,
MK Ultra mind control, which, if you're talking satanic ritual abuse and SSP, that is highly linked, as I
yeah,
know from my childhood, growing up in a cult, and I don't stop telling people about that. I do my
mm,
own healing and stuff like that, but it's relevant to what I do and why I can do the work that I can do, because I've walked in
yeah,
the shadows of the dark. I was that little child. So me being able to hold hands with another little child and say everything will be okay. And I have that as a frequency within me, that going in through the hero's journey and going into the depths of darkness and then coming out the other end, and then you have that as well. So it
yeah,
can only help more people, and but honoring, of course, when to say and when to keep it to yourself. I found that
yeah.
really hard when I was younger. I should just blurt out everything, blah, 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 blah. And
I'm
I'd
like
be
that.
going, I'm so
I don't
vulnerable
I
now.
don't have the filter. So I'm like, so I try and stay away from certain things, you see, and I feel like I'm being
Yeah,
pushed into talk
it's
about these
discernment.
narratives. And in a way
Yeah,
it's like maybe I do have the skills to express these things and put the
yeah,
topic out there for other people to work with, because not everybody can talk about these things, but it's definitely a
no.
success in progress.
It's
Um
great. I think it's
yeah,
wonderful that you're doing it, because you're helping people heal. There's a lot of people who listen to these podcasts who no way would they feel that they are safe to talk about it, because they're still actively, like we talked about, being targeted, and in their
yeah,
family systems they're stuck in it. But it's just like, wow, there is hope. I can see a light through the dark tunnel. I can see it there. And there's Julia helping with her groups, as a
yeah.
start,
We have such a
and
beautiful
healing.
community, and I was saying this yesterday. We do, and Danny's putting
Yeah,
lovely messages out there, and Mara's saying that she actually grew up in a cult as well.
yeah.
So sometimes you don't expect certain communities to be cults, do you? It's really weird. Um,
Well, the whole
yeah,
system itself is a cult-like. It's
yeah,
the systemic issues are cult. We all know now that they're all out, satanic ritual abuse, and we can actually openly say it on your channel because it's fact, right?
yes.
That's what they're doing
And it's
now.
so
It's all
awful that I
out in the
have to laugh
open.
about
It's
it.
like,
Yeah,
I mean, I used to talk about this maybe 20 years ago, and people, with the right kind of people, but some people would look at me sideways going, what are you talking about all of this for? It's because I experienced it growing up.
Yeah.
Sorry that you don't understand it. And so that's why cult kids end up gravitating towards other cult kids and, the SSP thing, because it's all related.
Yeah, it's
It's
true.
all
It's true.
related.
Yeah, I've
Your
not thought
bloodline
of
family,
SSP as a cult. SSP as a cult. Oh my
yeah.
god. Right? Isn't that weird to just put it so simply like that? That's some like massive cult. And I
Well,
talked
we have
about
to be
it.
discerning.
It's
Yeah.
linked into the Communist Party and MK Ultra and all that kind of stuff. I was talking about this yesterday about how, like, because I was like, Miles said to me, why are you involved in this? Why are you involved? And I watched a video a couple of months back, and it was Stuart Swerdlow
Mm.
talking about his family lineage, right? So he goes back to KGB and how his
Yeah.
great great grandfather started it or something like that. And then his
Yeah.
actual grandfather came over to Great Britain, to Liverpool. And I thought, well, there you
Yeah.
go. That's exactly how I'm involved, because my granddad somehow must have met that guy when they set up the
Yeah.
Communist Party. And somehow my
Yeah.
family enrolled through the programs that way. And then once they
Yeah.
made a success of it here in Liverpool, he says on the thing, then they went to
Yeah.
America. So they came to Liverpool first. Like,
Yeah.
what the actual
Right.
hell? So, because I always thought, well,
Yeah.
why would I be involved in any of this other
Well,
than
so
being,
early
yeah, it's,
psychotherapy, psychiatry is all, we hear Tavistock brought about again and again, but it's in Geneva with the, what are the psychologists? I was like Carl Jung and God, I can't believe my brain just goes nothing, especially when I'm doing readings. I use a different part of my brain, but Sigmund Freud, right? So
okay,
they're all part of that early MK Ultra mind control programming. It's like, people wonder why modern psychotherapy, psychology, and
yeah,
psychiatry, it's all linked,
yeah, it's so mad.
and this is why we need alternative
We
therapists.
do, we do. I think, the work that everybody does, everybody has their own value that they add to the healing
Yeah,
community. And sometimes, I always say this, sometimes it's just one word you say to somebody has an impact, and you'll never know. I used to get
yeah,
people coming up to me at shows saying to me, you gave me this crystal in your talk 3 years
yeah,
ago,
yeah,
and I've
same. Yeah,
kept
I
it in
get
my
it too.
pocket
Yeah.
ever since. And then I say,
Oh
that's
my
wonderful.
God,
Let's cleanse your crystal together, I say. So they've
that's
literally
really
kept it in their
sweet.
pocket for 3 years. Yeah. So I get people following me around and around the country. I'm doing less this year, but I'm doing the bases in a week or so. So it's going to be interesting to meet with people that are very different energy
Yeah,
type of person that goes to bases, very much UFO based, but still a lot of empowered, people who are
and that's in
targeted.
the UK, the
Yeah,
basis.
yeah,
I
it's in
think
Wiltshire.
someone asked me in Rob's show about going there, and I was like, I didn't look it up, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it's in Wiltshire, so it's like an hour away from Glastonbury. Yeah, so,
Oh,
but I haven't got the time or the money to be able to go to Glastonbury like I was hoping to. But a close friend of mine's actually having an operation like the next day that I get back. So I want to be back for her anyway. Because she's a single mum and she's, there's a lot going on. So it's like, yeah, I want to get back anyway. That's
and
good.
Glastonbury is a very important site because you can travel there metaphysically in the
Yeah,
etheric. And I've definitely traveled there with some of my clients.
yeah.
I go with what spirit shows, and
Mm.
they'll take me to Glastonbury, especially if that person has had like a lot of, abuse in the past, right? And the tonic or the outcome is to go to certain places of power
Mm.
ethically and energetically with that person multidimensionally so we can heal, like going to a healing chambers. I'm sure you've seen that with spirit, like they'll take you to healing chambers to heal
Mm.
that person's whole body because it can be there's so many, like you'll get an impact of trauma and then that in the field attracts more and more trauma. So it's like a
Yeah,
mark in the field, and to strip that out of the biofield, it needs a massive cleanse. And these places are amazing, like Glastonbury. I met all these amazing, like Diana, the goddess
yeah,
Diana.
yeah. Mm.
Yeah, and meeting up with her and others and clearing in and at this one particular client that I had was quite amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, one of the very first dragon rides I ever did in meditation was a blue
Yeah,
dragon that took me to the Glastonbury tour. So I got there,
yeah,
I visualized everything successfully. I was so
yeah,
proud of myself. And I got there and I looked around and went, I've got no idea what to do here. So I just got back on my dragon and came back. And yeah, so you've got the so where the tour is, you've got the Chalice Well really close by.
yeah.
And then so you the Chalice Well is the red dragon water.
Underneath.
Yeah, and then you've got the
Yeah,
white spring on the other side, and that's the white dragon energy. So I've got a friend who's
yeah.
in Glastonbury right now, and she's collecting some of the white spring water to bring back because I've got glass bottles
Yes,
of Chalice Well water here, but I've never
yes. The
ever been able to get to
spring.
the white spring. So I'm bringing
Yeah,
it to me. So I'm excited about that.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, that makes a lot of sense now that you say that there's a spring underneath, because that's where we
Oh
went
yeah, yeah,
energetically. We went in through and underneath,
yeah. So
I
there's
think
two
people think,
springs. Yeah.
yeah, I think that while we're talking about this is because people think that you need to physically go to places. No, you don't need to.
No.
You can actually travel to these places and they provide these
Yeah.
multidimensional healings as well. And that is like, now I'm thinking of the underneath the Sphinx and the pore of underneath the
Mm,
Sphinx. And they say, oh, the knowledge will be released once the earth hits a certain level of frequency, then this
mm,
knowledge is able to be shared amongst
yeah.
people. Yeah. So that's
Yeah. So
interesting.
I like to connect into sacred sites. So like, remote viewing, grid work and things like that. But I like to track artifacts. So sometimes you find that there's an artifact on the planet, or you read about it in a book, or sometimes
Yeah.
they just talk to me, and then I'll tune in and I'll get it, and then I can like merge with it in my energetic field. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. So Missing Time 420 said that he had a great reading from you the other day on Typical Skeptic. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, cool. Is it okay if we answer a few questions for the guys if they put in some random
Yeah, sure.
questions for you to
Yeah,
tune
yeah.
into? Yeah. Now,
Okay.
James, the Wizard Witkiss, and I once joked that we were like two peas in a pod, and then
Yeah.
somebody said they literally saw us in some kind of ship where there's pods and there's versions of us there. So what
Yeah.
can you get off that connection that James and I have? So he also believes he's got Shiva DNA, and I believe I've got Kali DNA, right?
The image that I'm getting now, because Wizard Witkus, we had a session the other day, and I could see him in the astral, and I'm seeing him again in the astral, like what I saw in the reading, where he's got this light blue kind of velvet is the word. Moons and stars on this kind of cloak that's got like a pointed hat. But I see you're in a multi-dimensional reality. It's really beautiful, actually. There's a dolphin that's jumped out of the water and has swum over the top. So there's this thing with dolphins, and the other worlds that are water-like, actually, is what I'm getting. And I can see the most beautiful colors everywhere, and the sun's shining through. It's really positive, actually. So it's like being in another world together where there were
Yeah.
dolphins on that world. It's not just dolphins on this planet. There's dolphins and whales in a place called Europa that I got from telepathing with different beings before they shut my channel down.
Mm.
Which you can understand why they
So
shut it down, because there was too much
yeah,
information coming
John
through of
Whitberg talks about Europa. He talks about that
yeah.
place. Yeah, and it's quite a
Okay.
big like everything passes through Europa and stuff like that. It's like a big way station. James is
Yeah.
asking, can you tell where the pods are, the pod room that we're in? Can you tell where that is it on Europa?
I feel like I want to say a pocket reality or in between something. It's in between. It's not like your traditional generic kind of, oh, this is Europa. It feels like a different dimension. And I want to say pocket reality. You can see through it. Like I can see I'm looking through a different dimension, because I'm getting that when I look through a portal, it looks watery. So I want to say, oh, you can go there. You can go there together. Because when I'm looking at the planet itself of this moon or whatever it is that you're on top of, it's like clear. It's like, but it's colored. It's like there's a lot of detail in this image that has just holographically come out through the third eye. Yeah. Does that make sense?
I think
James?
so.
Was it
I think so.
Wisdom?
Let's see what he
Yeah.
says. Okay, guys, if you've got questions that you'd like to ask Chloe, and they can be a bit personal, obviously not too revealing, and Chloe will tune in and see if she can get some guidance for you. Put them in capitals in the chat now, please. There's a lot of random chat going on. Right?
It's really interesting because I'm getting more images because it's like he wants to know how you get there. It's like I can see a tunnel that you'd walk through. Like it feels like I'm walking through a tunnel. This feels to me all astral, like in a different reality, right? How you go through it there is through a door and then a tunnel. This is portals. Like you'll see if you're working as a shamanic practitioner, portals open up, right? So I feel the same with James. It's like an earth portal. You go through the door.
Yeah.
And then you're walking through dirt and then you're in this other place. Right.
Yeah, he's saying that it resonates. He can visualize it as you're talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's very cool. Oh, I need
Yeah.
to plug in my phone. So there was a question from Mr. Rainbow Flame about, do we need to heal all the wells on the planet?
The wells.
Yeah, water wells.
Yeah. That's the end. See ya.
Yeah.
Yes. They say yes because also the grid lines also need healing. People are grid workers. Some are silent about it. Some are knowingly clearing places. Others just turn up there with their presence and they're able to release the old domain of the energetic dark domain from those areas just through their thoughts, their prayers, their energies, their sound healings. Working with the water element and the water spirit is very important, especially when you're doing land clearing. Especially a lot of places that I've been to, like I'll give you an example of a property I worked on. They had a dam there. It was a small little dam, like a water area. I'd cleared the house and the spirit was still hanging around because it was someone who died quite tragically in a trauma. But the dam itself took on a lot of that grief energy. And so I worked with the water element to release it. And through speaking and dialoguing with the water element, you're able to clear it because I think it felt a responsibility to hold on to that. And I think some of the children had processed the grief through going to that dam and putting flowers on the dam, you know. Yeah, I don't know. I had to bring that story out because it's kind of like a case study in working with the water element. Water spirit, water element is a real thing. You're working and walking with the Fey element, you know. And once you've got that Fey element on side, you know, you're going to have less issues with plumbing in a house. You know, you get a house at your house clearing and it's like there's a lot of plumbing issues, you
Yeah,
know.
when I had my wellness studio, there was so much water issue there, but I was going through a very emotionally turbulent time. So it was
Yeah.
manifesting in the property and it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the
It's very
property was
much linked.
crying that I couldn't do. It was crying for me.
Yeah.
It was bad. Okay, so Dan Guest would like to know a little bit, and he's here in the UK, would like to know a little bit about his lineage. Can you tune into anything about his lineage?
Lineage, Dan Guess. I think I'm on Dan Guess. Uh I think he's one of my Facebook friends too. Isn't that funny? We're all the similar people. All of us are so similar. Trust, love abounds. I've got I'm pulling the cards for this. It's like feeling like you kind of know it. And what does he mean by lineage? Is he talking like family DNA?
Yeah, I think it's like the family one. So is he like, Atlantean or whatever?
Yeah, so I've got love abounds. If I'm going to tune in as in galactic heritage, right? Okay. Because I'm wondering the lineage there because there's multiplicity is what I'm hearing. There's multiplicity. It's not just one. And that's why I'm like, how do we sort this out? Is he talking about his family here? Very Earth-like. I like the original family about the people that historically, energetically work with the land and trees and things like that. right? And he would have loved the fact that we were talking about the Fae element before. I feel like he has that, because this is what spirit wants me to go into, right? It's like actually tuning into his DNA, and I can feel his connection to nature. And that's why he needs nature. He needs the rocks, and he needs. I'm getting like a picture of him holding the grain and of the land. He needs land, it feels like, or he has it already. Do you know what I mean? Like the family are very tied with the land, and you've got it really activated in your body and your field. Okay, that's the earth one, earth, land, right? But galactic, we're talking. Again, simply love. It's just all about love. And there's healing about that. There needs to be a healing in regards to family.
Well,
Okay.
his wife is about to have a baby.
Right. Look at this. Simply love.
Mm.
You got a father and child.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
he's saying spot on. He's saying spot on. He's put like a little
Yes.
global symbol.
Yes. I want to say actually Pleiadian, because I've got the Pleiadian connection to nature as well. He kind of reminds me of me and my energy, like higher dimensional Pleiadian. That's all about, again, bringing balance into this reality just through your common sense, through the things that you see. They're very similar. This is why we're all very similar, right? Being able to see, making links between things, whereas other people are completely programmed, right? He's a deprogrammer as well. Um, there will be healing that comes up, but focusing on the love is really necessary as you go through this new phase in your life, is what I'm hearing. If feeling a little bit wobbly about things, but understand that you've got it all within you, to just always come from a place of love and not fear. Okay. All right. But love abounds is the middle. You got a lot of love, a lot of beautiful things. And it doesn't surprise me about the child coming, because I can see that in the cards. That's why I kept on going. Is it all about family? Because there's family stuff happening here. You know what I mean?
That's
Trust,
awesome.
go with the flow. There's lots of good things happening.
Yeah.
Um,
Very exciting for us having a new baby in our community, and it's exciting. Because my son's 16 now. Have you got kids? Have we ever spoken
I've
about if you've
got
got
one
kids?
child, a daughter who's 25,
Wow.
26 in August,
Oh,
yes.
you look great.
Thank you. I started at 22, I had her. At 21, so I was very young. So I had to
Yeah.
deal with all of that. Oh,
Yeah.
being a young mum, even though people would
Yeah.
say 21, 22, but it's people are having kids at like 31, 32
I was
these
34
days.
when I had my son. I was
Yeah,
34, which I didn't
right.
feel old at the time, but my mum was 32 when she had me. So I was the fourth one.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like pressure kind of started to build up about that. But there was literally like a hormone change. And then when I mentioned this to John Whitberg, he's like, yeah, that's how they do it in the programs. They just bombard you with hormones when it's time to put you through a breeding program. And so, yeah. So, because my sisters literally never thought I would ever have a child. I'm not motherly in any way. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, so I was 34. He's 16 now. So, yeah, so I'm 51 this year. And, but he's very independent. I've been told he's already in the SSP. People have seen him in the future, which is very upsetting. Obviously, I wouldn't have had one if I knew that was a thing. But
yeah.
yeah, mad. Okay, the next one we got Danny, and I was just looking to see because she's put two potentially different experiences in. I'm not too sure if they're different or if they're the same. So the first question she said was, "What did I see that day at the ranch?" Very cryptic. But then she put another
Very
one.
cryptic. What did I see that day at the ranch?
Yeah, and then so I don't know if you can ask Spirit about that. But then she did put another question in.
Straight
Um,
away, I'm getting it comes in automatic, and I have to go with the automatic, right? So I see a purple orb, like a light, but within the orb, see, time and space is very different, okay? So, and I'm feeling a little bit like galactic right now, because I'm kind of like, whoa. This hand coming through the light, it feels galactic. I can see an extraterrestrial through the orb itself. It feels very like not of this earth energy. And you know how you get that feeling of off-world, foreign feeling? It's like that. Um, And I feel it's a nice feeling though. I don't feel like it's bad. And I wonder about protection. It was like protection coming in, I feel, because I think there's a lot of other nasties, is what I'm getting. So what you actually saw was like this energy, like an energy coming in. It was protection, and it feels really nice. It's like your higher galactic protection, because I can feel the kind of dread of the place. But then you've got this nice, we're here, we're looking after you, don't worry. It's a nice feeling. And I see the three-handed fingers. I'll tell you what I'm seeing through the orb is like a being with a long extended hand with three fingers, you know. Yes,
Okay,
that's what I'm getting.
the second question she put, was it ET, angelic, or future? So I think you've kind of encompassed. That's
Yeah.
probably the same one. Yeah. Okay.
It's definitely extraterrestrial, but it's a nice, like purpley pinky being that's quite tall and slender of the purple. When I look at purple, sometimes I see like it's Arcturian, but sometimes Pleiadian look like that as well. I can actually see if they've got a card.
Oh,
Oh.
have you got any of your artwork around?
My artwork?
Yeah.
No.
I don't think, I
Not.
mean, we did a video together when you showed your artwork on the other video.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I actually
So
the
Danny says, OMG, thank you so much. She was right.
yes.
You're right, Chloe. You're right.
I'm always right.
Yeah.
Well, I can do this.
W.
Wonderful. Give me readings
Yeah.
for everyone. I'm bang on. I know that. It's like
Yeah.
you have to trust people that are learning, right?
Yeah.
Go with the very first thing that you're getting. Because if you start like don't think you know this as well. This is for your they're like your students, the people that are listening, right? And they're like, you know, my students via you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trust the very first thing that you're getting, especially clairvoyantly. And yeah, I feel like this guide is a guide of yours actually, and it's high protection. Okay, especially as you go forward and doing more of your paranormal stuff that you do. What is she, paranormal investigator or something? Yeah. Do you know
Sure,
that's
actually, we've not really talked about it. Let's see what she says. And Matty West is in the chat, so we're getting more Aussies coming in now, which is awesome. We do have a few Aussies and Tassies and New Zealanders in the chat, which is so cool.
yeah.
So let's see if she puts anything else. So the next one we've got Woo Rider, and it is a question. Derek's asking about Palantir and the AI software company. Do you have any future insights on them globally? Do you know about Palantir?
I've heard of it. I haven't read in depth about it. Okay, so I'll just tell you what I'm getting. I get like all these like switches and like what is it exactly? Be a bit more specific about it. I
About
want you
world
to be a bit more.
domination. Right.
Yeah.
That's them in the future.
Okay, so I'm getting like there's a lot of information actually. It's like it's come actually through it's actually come through other galactics, right? This whole thing. Palantir is just a surface of it, but it's actually a consortium of races that have pushed this agenda, and we can kind of all guess and know about that. Okay, that's what I'm getting. I can see this like at the helm is this extraterrestrial being, but it's kind of like on the panel, right? Because there's digital points, there's digital buttons, right? That's the very first thing I saw as the portal opened up is like digital buttons. I see sort of an extraterrestrial jelly-like being there. But at some stage, we are realizing the effect that the human population, when working together, how we can shift consciousness going forward. We want you all to understand that the power is in your minds. You see that this digital outlay will forever be a problem, but understanding that this is a temporary measure because the outlay initially with a militaristic push behind it of the certain agendas is pushing a certain idea. But we want to say to you that you can shift this into working for the positive, using the artificial intelligence as a tool for the population. But the consortium of alliances that are pushing this forward, there is a new growth to change. It feels telepathic. I'm getting channeling coming through because my personality's changing. And because we're dealing with such high level kind of galactic stuff, they kind of want to come in. I call them the cosmic collective, and I feel a bit dizzy. But they're saying that they can't say too much, but we start working collectively as a human race. We understand with the agenda behind it that they're pushing now is only going to get to a certain spot, but we must come together and learn. And that's a part of the lessons that we're learning on this planet, right? So it's not to give much away, but certain things that are being using for one purpose going forward in the future, I feel switch to the positive. That's what I want to hear. That's what they want to say. And they're giving me a thumbs up. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And Wizardwick is saying he can see and feel the shift as well. And so these companies, basically the future of the telepathy and everything, call it the sound of silence future. And Arkin Ra talks about it a lot, where he's basically lived it and been there. And everybody's all neural linked in. Nobody speaks vocally anymore. And everybody is connected in via this AI kind of God energy. We're all slaves.
Yeah.
We're all mind controlled and whatever. And this is why you see Arkin Ra ranting and shouting on his videos, because we're headed in that direction, right? And if you
we can see
that, you wouldn't be like happy about it either. So so these companies, I think they even that company tried to take over something in the UK, but they got rejected. But it's I don't know. I try not to go into those things.
There's an interesting thing they say, that if you're fighting it, right? This is like Confucius says, you're actually giving energy to it. So it's like, in some ways, it's like, yes, put the energy towards, let's save the environment, because there's these data centers going up, and we've got like Erin Abrockovich, we've got all these people that are like on side now, realizing that we're at a battle now of like dark and light, nature versus technology, and it's all coming out in the wash, right? I feel like that. I think it's fantastic people take action, but it's just like, don't put the worry towards it, because it feels like it's not that pathway. I feel, especially in the last month or two, something has really shifted. And I think we talked about it earlier in the session, where we like the pirate ship is sinking and they're thinking of jumping. Hey, I think golden timeline is happening over here. I think we need to jump ship. You see these celebrities that are all coming out now talking about how, they're Hollywood is full of adrenochrome. It's like, well, where were you talking months ago? Is it because now you see the general consensus of everyone knowing? And this is why it's so fantastic that we're becoming more awake to these ideas and sharing it publicly. Hence why the targeting, they don't want people actually who have got common sense speaking out. It's so important what we're doing, bringing dark to light.
So Dan Guest is saying the THX 1138 timeline is not set in stone. So there was a movie that came out years ago that literally displayed that kind of timeline. But just like in the Terminator movie, the future is what we make. I really do feel like we've created this guy now. I really do feel that we're kind of headed in that direction. But we are coming together. I felt that shift in possibilities on Friday. This time Friday, we were doing our morning live, and a massive possibility wave came in. Really opened up the timelines. I could feel it. And then since then, every time I do cards, it's all about possibilities. Opening up the energy. So it's pretty awesome. Okay. So I've got a couple more. I'm very aware of the time for you. It's just Mr. Rainbow Flame is next. And he was asking, and he's in Belgium, he was asking, basically, is he a grid worker? And how can he serve the world better? I think we all have the possibility to do grid work and do remote viewing. We're all psychic. And Rachel in the chat definitely needs to stop saying that she's not psychic, because she's dropping loads of psychic wisdom in the chat. So everybody has psychic abilities. I was teaching psychic development in person last Saturday at a local spiritualist church. And I do have some online workshops that I've put onto my Patreon as well for the end of the month. So, but I love to work in confidence building. Yeah, so I think you're pretty much the same. It's about confidence building. Yeah,
it is. I feel like with rainbow, there's a shamanic energy about them, and I can see drums, and I think this is a past life. Whether you go about dressing like this, you look very shamanic to me, like you've been a shaman in multiple lifetimes. And I can see you wearing a traditional sort of looks like Native American, but I can see in Europe, way back in time, there's a very similar garb or fashion that they're wearing. It's kind of like the Siberian look. So you've got like your face is covered with like all this leather, kind of like the shamanic drumming, like videos, tribal, that's the vision that I'm getting. Like you're bringing people together to in circle as well. I can see the sage, and I can really see that as an opening in the future. Definitely follow the path of healer, being a healer to other people. Once you get you through your own, and it feels like a very high possibility for you, actually. Yeah, shamanic practitioner, it feels like. Yeah.
that's
Does
great.
that answer the question? Was there?
Yeah, maybe. So what should he do to kind of help humanity more? Is it connecting into the earth?
Exactly.
He did
Doing
say
that.
something. He said he was talking to somebody else, but he's saying send my dragons, angels, fairies at work. He's talking about something else, but yeah, so he's connected into his elementals, which is great. Jason missing time 420 saying I'm not psychic either. Now when I was in Sheffield like 6 months ago, I had such a bad weekend, and I was actually chatting with Jason on the taxi from like the event to the train station, and I'd lost my train ticket and everything, and he just said to me, you've got portals on your back and they're like draining your energy, and there's like negative energy coming in on you. And I was like, whoa, for God's sake. And he was right. I had it confirmed by Sean Bond. 5 portals had opened on my back. And Jason, who I did not realize was into psychic stuff, because he's into paranormal ufology and he's a fantastic researcher.
I know Jason. I met him in Hawaii, and he knows as well as I do that we went to Mount Kilauea, and we did some powerful grid work there. I didn't know it was going to happen. I never know until they said, take your shoes off. And then, I mean, we were looking at really hard rocks and like they're really sharp. And I'm looking around going, take my shoes off. Okay. So I did near a tree. And then the energies came in and he was there. So he's a grid worker too. So you might, like a lot of people, it's a programming of what a psychic is, right? And think about what has been, dished onto us, for thousands and thousands of years. You're a witch, you will be killed, you will be burnt at the stake, blah, 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 blah. By a lot of the Abrahamic religions, they really don't like women empowered, men empowered with intuition and helping other people, right? So this is the denigration of what has happened for thousands of years, and it's still living through the minds of people with their programming. Can I get an amen?
Yeah, he doesn't remember telling me about those portals on my back, so he channeled that.
Yeah, channeled it. He channeled it.
So did you see the shark that Jason did the video of? Were you there then?
Yes.
Were you close to the shark?
He was on another boat. They wanted me to go over to the boat, but I had to be on my boat. But yeah, because I had my own weight. No, it was beautiful though, because we were taught by Heidi and Lisa that like sharks, another thing, they're being programmed to think that they're like dangerous, and of course, yes, they don't go swimming around with predators every day, but they're amazing. They act like little puppies and they turn over. And when you send compassion and love to them, they can feel it, right? And so we were taught that by Heidi and Lisa, but these sharks will come over and they're just there to sort of have a look, and they're quite amazing beings as well. But yeah, we've been projected and told that they're, naturally apex predators, but it's the projections that we have onto things and then onto sentient life forms that we can shift and change because they're not all true, right?
Yeah.
You can probably say it in a better way, Jason. What do you think about that? So as soon as he thought that, he had this shark coming. He was like, I'm just going to do it all my love and just send it out there. And what happened? Hello, you got a shark right there. He went, hey, this dude's got a really nice heart. Swam in. He took a great camera of it, you know.
That's available on Jason's channel, guys, on Missing Time 420. Got a couple of videos there about his experiences in Hawaii. What was your biggest takeaway from Hawaii?
Oh, just telepathing with the same with me. The ocean was just next level, and telepathing with the whales and dolphins there. Just in that, there's something really special about the ocean there, you know.
Yeah. So I love watching that video you did in Sedona when you were just walking through the rocks and you started to channel like galactics, and you could,
Yeah.
and it was you, but it wasn't you. It was beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could sense that, right? So that's
Yeah.
the cosmic collective coming in, but I can't really say it is that
Yeah.
anymore. I just sort of say, I'm here and I'm talking to the ant people. So I was talking to the ant people that I didn't realize, but there's this whole, oh my God, mythology in that area, but I didn't realize. I hadn't read up on it beforehand. And then I realized, oh my God, the Hopi have a mythology around the ant people and how during the last great catastrophe that they worked with the ant people. And the story goes further along in that mythology because the ant people were telling me that they interbred with the Hopi people there. And there's like a mixture of human and ant people, even more so because the ant people, they said that they came from Mars when Mars had the catastrophe, nuclear kind of stuff go on there. So they came to Earth. So there's a lot of, like, we could say migration from different planets, and including us. We're all migrants. You know, we should stop having a go at migrants because, like, we are migrants from other planets. And there are still a lot of migrants here living underneath in the ground from there. Yeah.
That's so cool. I've got two final questions. One's from James Wiswick is saying, do you see if he has a connection to Nemesis, Nibiru's star?
Nibiru. I'm getting like a lifetime there, probably not under a very high vibrational lifetime. There's a lifetime where there's a lot of like sorcery and kind of your higher self is experimenting and kind of exploring a lifetime of power and control, if that makes any sense whatsoever. It's like a lifetime where your abilities are used in more militaristic fashion. Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah, just looking at it.
Nice. And then the last question's from Justina. And they say, I just want to know if a few days ago, the dream about the UFO and plasma beings, the sun was real deal. So what can you get about this dream? Was it a real experience or was it a dream?
Family, I feel reconnection to source and family for you. It's family. It's a reconnection to family. So I just keep on hearing the same thing over and over again. It's higher galactic, but it's family. It's family connection. I can see all the different colored plasma orbs on the ship. The ship is almost see-through too. Similar to when I had the vision of with you guys on that in that different plasma reality. It's like they're wanting to show that they came in from a different dimension too, wanting to reconnect to. Why did they need to reconnect with her? She needs to understand where she's from because she needed a real new burst of energy, light, high dimensional energies because she's been through challenging times. So we came in to have that tethered and connected again. So she has a new hope and a new realization of where she is on her path. And I feel like family around you, and I feel like things will get better. Hope is here now. Your spirit needed like a soul cleanse or a renewal, exactly what I said before, right? Reconnection with family. Yeah. Yeah.
That's so cool. Thank you. That's so good. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so this is we get Polish chat going as well as English chat. It's quite funny.
Really?
Yeah, we
You're
got a few
Polish.
Polish in here, so it's so funny.
Yeah. And
And
then I've just
even words.
reconfirmed it. I've
Yeah.
reconfirmed it in the
Oh,
cards.
good.
So it's joy and reunion of souls. So, and there's the little plasma that on the ship, or the little colorful plasma that I saw in that dimension, right? It's real. It was real, a reunion of souls and joy, bringing back joy and hope and love and light again, because it has been very hard and dark, been through some challenging times, I can feel. So they needed that beautiful resurgence of energy back in your field to come back. Nice.
What's our connection?
Yours and mine.
Mm.
I do feel the connection, like when you were talking about priestess temples. Yeah. But it's going to sound really strange. It's like, just get this vision. Harry Potter. And you've got this wand to this like thing. And it's like, oh my God, Star Wars and space. Okay. You're tricky. You asked me that.
Well, it's
Now
because
I
you
can't
look
help it
so
but get all the
familiar.
flooding of,
Yeah,
hey?
you've always looked so familiar to me, always. It freaks me out, to be
So
honest. It does.
I see us working on a ship. Look, I don't like talking about it very much, but I'm confirmed SSP as well.
Mm,
I mean, I grew up in a cult bloodline. My father was trained by CIA, unethical hypnosis. I've got the whole thing
mm,
there. That's why I understand I get a lot of abductees come to me, right? Because
mm,
I've had the same experience. I've got alters, I have explored that privately with the hypnotist. But yeah, I see the ship that I have been on. I always recognize this obsidian floor on the ships. Because I don't know, for
wow.
some reason, that's what I remember is
Oh.
the obsidian black floors that have, you can't see the crease. It's a slight crease in between all the slats. I mean, that's as much as the memory that I get. But I
So
feel like we're
obsidian,
fighting.
obsidian
Yeah,
to me is a black pyramid ship. They're
yeah,
obsidian. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. So I connect into Black Pyramid ships. There's one near me, like less than half a mile away. And it's under the city in Liverpool. But then when you step in that is obsidian looking, and it's like sometimes I see like golden lines of energy or
yeah,
golden writing in that as well. Or
yeah,
sometimes people have said that the obsidian can be like the purple sheen, right?
yeah.
But it's very much like that, yeah.
All I know is I've woken up on those floors over many, like teenage through the 20s. I woke up on the floor, and that's the last of the memory that I'll get
Yeah,
is that waking up being on the floor of the ship, obsidian. But
right.
I see us fighting, like as in against the dark, and with the
Okay, I
like
thought you were going to
that's the
say
what.
together, and I was going to say sounds about right.
Yeah, together, like
Okay.
fighting, and I'm still uncovering quite a lot. I mean, people tell me to like be a bit more vocal about it, but I'm
Are you
just really
drawn to working
apprehensive.
with the staff?
I
Have you
guess.
have you got a staff?
Well, I actually got a staff on the top of Mount Shasta, but then I
Okay.
had to leave it in America. I don't know why that was, but then I realized that would have caused a problem coming over back on the plane. I don't know.
Yeah,
But yeah, I got a staff from the top of Mount Shasta physically there, but
yeah.
in the astral, I have worked with the staff with
Because I
Merlin.
see us sparring, yeah, with the staff.
Yeah,
Oh, it's probably the Merlin connection then. Yeah, Australia is so weird about bringing things into the country. It's probably the strictest place I've ever gone to. You're not allowed to
yeah,
take that hardly anything into the country. It's really weird. And but when I flew out of Australia, I had like knives because I was a knife hand at a meats works in Australia. So I had this big knife kit in my bag, and it got through absolutely fine. They didn't care that I was taking knives out of Australia. But if I
was it on
tried,
the carry-on luggage?
it was
You
actually.
know?
So
Are you
yeah, but I
kidding
just
me?
literally like it's a
Oh
work
my
thing. So
God.
it was, yeah,
It's fine. Just don't come
yeah,
in
it's
with
just a
it. But
work
yeah,
thing.
have a nice day out
Yeah.
of the country. I don't know.
So they don't care what you take out. Basically, it's what you're
I
bringing in
just
that bothers them. Yeah,
I just think there's a sort of hangover from the penal colony days of being a penal colony, prison
yeah,
colony. I think it's like the handlers are here, and I get
Yes.
told I'm not allowed to live in a certain city. My guides don't want me living there because there's a lot of elites families there. They kept on trying. This is a
Yeah.
story. They kept on hiring me to go in and clear their houses of ghosts. I'm talking like massive big mansions. And their modus operandi was to say to me, even though they were going along with me, I had two particular families. They hired me on the same day. It should have been I don't know, red flag. But they hired that both of the women came with me through every door, every house, and everything I said was completely on point, as I do with my readings. I just trust my abilities completely. All this information, very amazing information. This lady was in the photo, and you could see her sad face, and she died during the scarlet fever in 1910. Actually, whole families in this street were dying. We could hear, and they all heard it, the wailing of the woman in the distance, right? That was just one example. In a nutshell, there was all this paranormal, and it was like on point, and it's what I do. And it happened. I cleared both of the houses. I got paid. But then tried to get a testimonial from them after, and they said, "Oh, we're in complete disarray with how you did all of that. Firstly, we didn't ask permission." I'm like, "You paid me to clear your house." What the hell? So what the modus operandi was to try and stop my abilities and my confidence and my self-esteem, and oh, I'm so terrible at this, and I'm like, I know exactly why you hired me and what your modus operandi is. So I don't know. Some places you've really got to trust your intuition, because it's just,
So
I don't know.
I've got an experience that kind of haunts me, and it's from Mullaney. Have you ever been up to Mullaney?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So, as part of my conservation volunteers, we were working in the bush in all these different areas, and I thought I just had
Oh,
a really good
nice.
experience there, and but I didn't, because it's haunted me ever since for 25 years. And I see
Right.
myself coming out of one of those kind of colonial looking buildings, and it's on fire. And I'm trying to
Yeah.
get to the little library where the internet must have been when I was down there. But it's always like it reminds me of something from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like the town is deserted. There's a base underneath, clearly, and but there's
Yeah.
something happened there. And it's Mulaney and somebody else, a friend of mine who's also SSP, but she's kind of traveling around Asia. She also had experiences around Mulaney, so I don't know what it is over there, other than it's like
Mm.
like a small base, like a random little town base, north of Australia Zoo.
I
Um,
do I do get, like, when I go into some towns, if there's a conflict with the Aboriginal people and the white people historically, I will feel it a mile away, because my mother's mother is actually Lakshi Lakshi. I don't actually say it to many people because it's so political here. Like, I have lived my life as a white woman, but I've got some Aboriginal DNA, you know what I mean?
you're an
And it's
Abo.
very Aboriginal.
Sorry. I worked in a country pub, like
Oh my God.
inland
And they're just
pub,
horrific. The
and
racism here is through the
it's
roof.
awful.
So
Yeah,
me to say that, but I have a very strong connection to the Indigenous
yeah.
spirit in the bush, because I am a Lakshi Lakshi woman, my grandmother's line.
Wow.
She hid it naturally, because she was bullied when in the 1920s and called Blackie when they saw her grandmother, who's very dark. So you go down the line, and it's like fade the black, basically. So that's what they were doing. So they were massacring families, right? So my great grandmother was a little girl who left a massacred tribe, which was my great great grandparents' tribe, and lived in a mission, right? So that I feel, when you're talking about Mullaney, I feel the conflict there, the Aboriginal
Okay.
people, and I feel like that place was used as a school. And I feel like there's definitely warring tribes there, because I'm getting the spear, and I'm getting a man come, and the burning down of property, right? So what you were picking up on was the fear of that old record keeping of that place, right?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense, because the library
Yeah.
definitely comes into it. That makes sense. Oh my word. So Dan Guest is saying about the bunyip. What's the bunyip? Like that swamp creaturey thing. Is it an ET, or is it just an
No, it's an entity. When we get told some things when I was a kid. It was like the version is like the Slender Man or the Featherfoot, right? To watch out in nature. There are some guardians or entities in nature that need to be respected, right? Because they're primordial beings that live in the land, that look after the land. That's a lot of people don't listen to because we've got a disconnection from nature, you see. Yeah, so it's a primordial spirit, and this is why little kids get told, watch out for the bunyip, because they can literally, I've seen this happen. I saw this elder lady talking about the woggle woggle is like a snake spirit in the Swan River. She was talking about how this bridge was built, and it's really bad because they haven't sort of asked the elders of the area about where to build the bridge. Within like a month of her saying that, 3 Aboriginal boys drowned in the Swan River, in this part of the river. I couldn't believe it. So it's like the disrespect that certain people show to the land, and the primordial spirits can, wreak havoc on, just like when we talked about the Fae prior to this, right? So it's just an entity in the land, right, that needs to be respected. Some places you'll go, you'll feel like there's a guardian spirit looking out for the place. Some can be positive. Well, entities are just entities, whether they be positive or negative. It's our projection upon them, right? Do you know what I mean? Like the dragons that look after certain dragon lines and points in places. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense for me. So we're just talking in the chat about Jason and Wu doing groups or workshops about UFOs, and I'm saying, yeah, I would totally pay for that, because years ago in my
Yeah.
teens I was really into UFOs and stuff, and then it was as if my mind
Yeah.
got redirected away from X-Files, and it never came back into my awareness until the last 5 years. So sometimes people are having conversations and I've got no idea what they're talking about. They're using words that I
Yeah.
don't understand and things like that. And I do have the ET Deep Dive Guide by Ivan Teller, which is like a beginner's guide to ufology, but I don't find
Yeah,
like I can
right.
always sit and read it. Do you know what I mean? But so like Jason and like all my mates, they're talking about UFOs and things, and I'm like struggling to catch up. And then whereas my mind is very SSP focused and I can download information on that, I don't always know what they're talking about on Typical Skeptic when it comes to UFOs. And now I'm getting more and more into bases, and I'm talking to Miles Johnston like on a regular basis, and he talks a lot of, so I can say to Miles, oh, I'm thinking about this area, and he'll just go into this big story about UFOs, like history, and I'm like, wow, like, so I've got a big
Yeah.
gap in my mind when it comes to UFOs. Belinda's saying that she saw a UFO in Wellington around 1984, so that's interesting.
Wow.
Oh yeah, Rainbow Flame, thank you. He's reminding me of something that I would say to my students, which is quite funny. You were never behind. You are right where you needed to be, and I'm glad I steered towards you. That's so cool. Thank you. Yeah, so we're always exactly where we're meant to be, and I get that. But I'm saying that I was so to spend time with Jason and Derek to hear them talk about UFOs and stuff. I pay for that shit. I would. Do you know what I mean? I'd
Yeah.
love to have that connection group for serious. And like that's why I get Rob on as well. So Rob comes on like once a month to talk about anything
Yeah.
paranormal or whatever, UFO, and yeah, because I
Yeah.
don't have
Wow.
that. So like I can, like, it's like basis next week, so I can stand up and talk with no notes or anything about mystical wellness and crystals and ascension. I can just stand there and do that, and that's why I go to Mind Body Spirit first. And the organizers know that when I book on, that I will do a talk, and they'll just say to
Yeah.
me, what's your talk title, and where's your talk title list, and I'll just send them a list of titles that I can work from, and I don't even know what I'm going to be talking about until I see the program.
Yeah.
And I'm literally like, oh, okay, this is what I'm doing tomorrow. I better take this particular thing with me or whatever. And but bases, when Mal said to me, talk at bases, I was like, nope, sorry. Because that is like me talking about something that's very personal, trauma healing journey. And I'm preparing a
Yeah.
backup presentation, but I don't plan on talking unless the shit hits the fan, kind of break glass in case of emergency. Here's AnchorHaven's
Right.
presentation. Do you know what I mean? So this
Yeah.
preparing for this one that Gina's doing this Saturday, it was like blood, sweat, and tears kind of situation for all of the speakers. We've all had to go through this process, this trauma healing process to create these presentations. And you've only got 35 minutes to talk about my life, about my SSP, and all that. 35.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
That's not a lot.
Draco Reed needs a minimum of 2 hours to do an SSP presentation. And for Basis in December, he actually planned a 5-hour presentation because that's what he was promised. And then right before he went on stage, Miles said to him, look, you're getting 2 hours, and that's it. And Miles walked away. So Draco Reed's like, what the hell? I've just prepared this 5-hour presentation. So he lied to me in a way just to get him here to the UK so that he would do that. But he prepared a 5-hour presentation, and so he could only go 2 hours into it. So there's still 3 hours presentation that Draco Reed has not yet released, which is, how frustrating is that? So I was like,
we could put it on YouTube or something like that.
Yeah, I think he's waiting for the next big conference. So oh, thank you.
Are you planning on a move at all?
Well, I'm hoping now that my son is 16 and he's finishing high school, I'm going to start traveling again. I want to start traveling. I'm a traveler.
I feel like that.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a move.
And I've been stuck here in the UK for 11 years when my son went to school and that kind of thing. But now he's going to start college, in September. And I'm ready to start backpacking again, start traveling around, doing the grid work. So, and holding retreats and things abroad. That's my plan. So Slavka, the natural sentience.
I feel like that the retreats abroad. So you come back, but you can, because he's a bit older now, you can go for like, over the weekend or a bit longer.
This apartment is going to become his apartment, and I'm just going to flip him for. I would love to have a base in somewhere, and I was thinking Mexico, but then somebody mentioned to me about Argentina, and I was like, Argentina, Buenos Aires. Wow, they're so I don't that
or closer, Portugal.
No, Portugal's too expensive. One of my sisters, she spends all of her time, because she's retired now. She retired at 55, very successful. So she spends all her time either where we are, in Liverpool City region, or in Wales or in Lanzarote. That's the 3 places that she does.
Yeah.
Right. I'm a budget traveler. So for me, like, I spent 10 years in India, so I know how to live on nothing. I can do it. I really did live on less than $100 a month in India. I really did.
It just feels like you'll have the people that pay, like Portugal, sort of Europe, France, that sort of thing.
Well, John P. Adventures, he's in Portugal, I think. So I might try and hook up with John P. and see if I can set up something.
It feels right. Yeah, as you're talking, do you feel the excitement? There's a bit more like...
It is exciting. It is.
So it feels, I like that feeling now. So it's like Portugal, I like that. Because when you put the thing in your head, I'm a budget thing. Well, you're just going to get budget, aren't you?
Yeah, so I need to go up. I need to scale it up a bit. Costa Rica, the guys are saying, Costa Rica, you can live like a queen. Costa Rica's amazing. So I need to think about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we finished school at 16 here in the UK. It's not that he's super smart, it's just a different system. And then after that, you go to like higher education. So he goes to a college, but he's already in an engineering school. So we made that switch a couple of years ago because, he is very smart. So his whole school is focused on engineering, art and design, computer technology. So he's finishing, he's done an engineering like BTEC, like I don't know what you guys got, like a high school diploma for engineering. And now he's going into the next 2 levels where it's a bit more practical. And I have an engineering background as well. So it was great to be able to do that with him. So still Cola's asking, do you travel a lot? You're still recovering from being out in America.
Me?
Yeah,
I tend to travel a lot, and especially the last couple of years, but I really need to put my roots down somewhere. The traveling has been because of not great things happening, shall we say. And they've stopped me from actually, have I stopped myself? Who knows? Deep down, it's been great doing online because I've been moving so much, but I really just love to put roots down right now. So I'm the opposite right now,
Yeah, I can't wait to start traveling again because I really do feel like the UK is not made for me at all. Yeah, I'm just not British. I'm very Americanized. And because of the influence of the SSP and so Drago's American and he's like another version of me. I'm a version of him. So we were literally paired together. We were created together. So growing up in Toronto in those programs, and in American programs and Russian programs,
Yeah.
Australian programs. So it's like, for me, I'm ready to be reassigned now, and I can't wait. I can't wait to get into a warmer climate. I'm excited to get away from the
Yeah.
wet and the cold. And now my mobility is better. I still need to get
Yeah.
new hearing aids before I start traveling, though, because these hearing aids, they're made for iPhones. They're very expensive hearing aids, but they only have like a
Yeah.
5 year
Right.
shelf life. So after 5 years, I
Yeah.
think we're getting to 6, 7 years now of these hearing aids, and they're getting faulty every day. So the left is hardly working. So I'm getting overwhelming tinnitus on the left. It's not cancelling it out. I get my spirit messages through the right. So that sounds, so I get spirit messages no matter what, but the hearing aids are reacting to frequencies coming in. So basically, because they're Bluetooth hearing aids, they can be targeted as well. And right
Yeah.
before I did a big show a couple of weeks ago, like a really controversial show, they my hearing aids disconnected from my iPhone. So I wouldn't have been able to talk. I wouldn't have been able to hear myself. And that's how they target me now. So I need to upgrade my hearing aids big time. But I'm looking at, I'd
Yeah.
need probably $2,000 to do get the next hearing aid. So I'm hoping to get a
Yeah.
job of some kind, or really like push into the spiritual business work, so I can get a buffer, so I can upgrade my technology, upgrade my ears and things like that. And then
Yeah.
next year I'm going to start traveling. So I've done a lot of training this year to upgrade my security license and my security clearance. So I am available for that kind of work as well. So I'm leaning into security analyst work this year. Anyway,
Yeah.
what tell
Yeah.
everybody how they can find you and what you've got coming up. And
Yeah, so just get on to my Whimsical Wednesdays on my YouTube channel, because it would be nice to have more people there. And I think that's got something to do with why they don't let me do lives. I don't know. I probably need more subscribers. I'm still available for my one-on-one sessions, Chloe Ariell Soul Sessions, and that's what I'm doing at the moment. Yeah.
that sounds amazing. Yeah, so we've put your link tree
Yeah.
in there. We've been trying to get your
On
followers on
Facebook.
your new channel. I'm just going to check it again and see
Yeah.
what.
And Chloe Ariell on Facebook.
Yeah.
So if you want to contact me via that, that'd be great.
So Whimsical Wednesdays -1 is up to 97 subscribers now. Come on, guys. Let's get Chloe over 100. And she's disappeared. So, okay. So thank you, everybody, for joining us today. This is going to go on Chloe's channel soon as well. So I will be back on probably later today. I think I do have another guest. I will check. But thank you so much. Please do follow Chloe. Please check out her link tree as well. And if you can, send her a PayPal, support the work that she's doing. She's coming back in. So I was just wrapping up the show then, because you disappeared. So I thought I'm just going to wrap it right up. So yeah, you're sideways now.
Oh gosh, it's always something. All right, yeah. Just
that's cool.
Pops me out.
Yep. So just finishing up now. This has been so good. Thank you so much. And you're always welcome back on anytime. And we really value your insight, and your galactic and earth connections are so amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be really good if we it might be an idea for a show is to kind of, do what we're doing, but on a kind of more generalized.
Yeah.
I like, because when we started talking about Palantir, I could feel my cosmic collective coming in, because it's such a big subject that they were telepathing through me, and that's why that answer took a little while. It was actually quite interesting, right? It's not to fall for the fear in regards to these future possible outcomes. It feels like it's not a possibility anymore, but we're still through the action stages of, shifting it. But it also comes to all of us with a concerted effort to unify together to stop that particular outcome. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you. Yeah, so a lot of people are getting feeling very connected to you in the chat as well. So that's so cool. Yeah, so we're going to try and join you over on your Whimsical Wednesdays channel. And I know Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot are a massive advocate for your work. So you've got loads of videos on their channel as well, haven't you? And it must have been so good meeting them in person.
Because yeah, my YouTube channel got deleted a couple of years ago. So this one's a new one, rebuilding. You know,
Yeah,
there's a lot of content. I don't want to be sad about it. It was just a different phase, you know, and we're
yeah.
rebuilding into a new level now. So yeah.
Yeah, but TKB have found some of your old videos and they've been uploading them and stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's the
Yeah.
new videos of when you were out there with them, and that's so
Yeah,
cool
yeah,
to
I
spend
found
time
it.
with
So
Tina as well. That's so cool.
yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah,
I need to get them back on soon, actually. Okay, that's great. So I'm going to end the live
yeah.
stream now. So
Okay,
thank you,
cool.
everybody, for watching us. Thank you so much.